And now, it's our turn. From Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola, Florida, the site of the biggest super late model race in the nation, which just earlier today concluded with an iRacing legend, Ty Majeski, taking the win in the 53rd annual Snowball Derby. Tonight, the Stars of the Northwest hit the half mile for their turn around the Pensacola, Florida short track for the Custom Fab Northwest Snowball Derby. 300 laps coming your way live on LSR TV and CRN Sports Radio. Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Rentz, joined as well in the booth and in the production truck by Charles Wooten with Wesley Outland, fresh from the real life Snowball Derby where he was the Joe's Racing Products pit reporter. He will be doing the exact same role with us tonight here on LSR TV for the 4th annual Northwest Snowball Derby presented by Custom Fab. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to, as you see on screen right there, the home of the Snowball Derby and Jegs Victory Lane right there. Here, it's Five Flag Speedway, the most historic venue of short track racing in the nation, home of the biggest race in the nation, and it's our turn. A full 300 laps here tonight, Charles. What are you expecting from this, the longest race of the year for the Northwest Tour?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a long night of racing, and we did hear caution laps not going to be counting, and there's a very specific reason for that. With the way this track is, you could easily go a lap down when changing tires. As we found out, they have 3 sets of tires, so something a little different here, but 300 laps is a lot to get around this track. They're going to definitely need some tires, so it'll be interesting to see who uses those and when they use them and who comes out on top.
And we are also going to have fuel mileage come into play here again. We saw that in Iowa, a race that Casey Garber picked up the victory in on fuel mileage when Caden Anderson ran out of fuel. And Charles, the big story in this one, both Garber and Anderson, both winners on the tour this season, they're not in the field. They were at the real Snowball Derby earlier today down on vacation, so they are not able to compete here tonight, but that does not shy away from this field. 49 cars attempted to qualify for this 300 lap race. We have narrowed it down to the final 24. 300 laps the distance. We've got the field set. We're just waiting on them to roll through Ricky Brooks' Room of Doom and get set to come out for 300 laps tonight.
Yeah, we're waiting on that main lobby to launch here momentarily. I do want to quickly address something here. Hopefully it sorts itself out. We are having some slight internet issues. Hopefully they, again, do sort themselves out. If they don't, we'll do some adjusting on there and see if we can't get it to stabilize throughout the night, but there it does look like it's somewhat stabilizing. But again, good racing. We will make sure one way or another this race is aired flawlessly, to say the least. We'll do our part over here, but again, 300 laps going to be some outstanding racing, Greg.
And it's the second full-length one of the night, and it's our turn to do it, but we had the big one earlier today at the real life Five Flag Speedway down in Pensacola, Florida. And who better to talk to about that than someone who was down there in the middle of all the action? We're going to turn it down the pit road and our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, Wesley Outland. Wesley, you just did one Snowball Derby here tonight. First of all, how was it? Second of all, what are you expecting from this one?
Yeah, first off, I just want to clarify, it was awesome to be a part of the Snowball Derby. Now, the race broadcast team, colleagues, Blaze Dillner, Bob Dillner, Jim Trado, of course, Alan Dietz, and Alan Mackey were on the call for the event today. I was handling social and things via Twitter and Facebook, but I'll tell you what an awesome event. To be a part for my second 53rd Snowball Derby. Finally to see a driver in Ty Majeski, originally out of Seymour, Wisconsin, now residing out of Race City, USA in Mooresville. And, I've really said this before. I know he had an opportunity some last year to get a truck ride, and, he didn't have that Snowball Derby championship, but I believe that when you hoist and you claim that Tom Dawson trophy, it changes your life. It changes your career. Look at what's happened to two-time winner Chase Elliott, two-time winner Kyle Busch, and so many others that were, by the way, a part of the Snowball Derby. Chase Elliott won the last chance race on Saturday, started 31st, came back to finish third. And to see the best of the best, and I want to throw this out there before we start talking virtual here. Derek Thorne from your neck of the woods, from the West Coast, to the drivers we saw last night of the Snowflake 100 between Bubba Pollard and Stephen Nossi, to tonight's race or this afternoon's race. By the way, we beat the weather. Beautiful day. I think it was in the upper 60s, cloudy conditions, but no problems. And to see that battle down to the stretch between Derek Thorne, Ty Majeski, Chase Elliott, some of the best of late model racing and even NASCAR. What a show they put on. And Jeski, congratulations to him. 107th win, and it comes at the Snowball Derby. And now we get to have fun here tonight here for this event. And I know we've had a lot of drivers, Charles and Greg, having to trim the fat, so to speak, to make the 24-car field. But I think we should have a fun, exciting 300-lap race here, and they're going to be taking on pit stops and tires this time.
They are. No fast repairs still for these drivers, but they will be taking tires and pit stops. 3 sets of tires on pit road. So strategy is going to come into play in this one. And Wesley, we're getting word, though, that we do have a couple drivers down there who missed out on the B main. They are on Wesley floss duty, making sure that Wesley doesn't try to floss again after what we saw on the bull ring earlier in the weekend. Saw that.
Hey, listen, it was all in fun, and I regretted it today. From doing the floss to doing the dancing to doing when Bob Dillner even put me on the spot and said, hey, look, if Wesley doesn't do what he done 2 years ago when I let him announce the All-American 400, from instead of going to Charlotte and do the Giddy Up Challenge, I'm going to sit him on a plane, which I am going on a plane tomorrow morning, but luckily, I did get to stay to work Snowball Derby, but yeah, doing things with Judson O'Neill, the kid with Dirty Mo Media, with Dale Earnhardt Jr., and to get publicity with them. Yes, no, I cannot floss. No, I cannot do the Giddy Up Challenge. I can try to do it, and I dang sure cannot do the worm. But it was fun. It was always a blast hyping up the crowd, whether it be on the video boards at the racetrack or in the big fan tent. And we're going to have fun here tonight, being the virtual Joe's Racing Products pit reporter for this broadcast for the iRacing Northwest Tour, presented by Joe's Racing Products. And by the way, Charles and Greg, I got to hang out with Joe Constance of Joe's Racing Products, and he said, man, I appreciate what you do. I appreciate what all of y'all do. He's ecstatic. He loves what BJ Tidrick and Seth Fraser have done with this iRacing series, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. He's glad that I'm a part of it as well.
Greg, I just have one thing to say real quick. I can promise all the fans out there that are watching, 1, we don't have cameras on us. That's a good thing. 2, Wesley will be doing absolutely no dancing here on our broadcast. I can promise you that, whatever this story's about. 2, he will stay in his chair, I guarantee you that, unless he breaks it again. If that's the case, we can't help that, so we'll do our best to not listen to room service this time, but
I have a very good sturdy chair from the 30th floor of the hotel suite that I'm at in Pensacola. I promise you, I'm hopping up and down. Yeah,
he said that last time, so we'll see.
Right. We're good. I'm ready to go.
We have fun here on LSR TV. Well, the B main was wrapped up. The C main was wrapped up. Right now, we're just waiting on the final few cars to roll through tech inspection, and we will be set to go here for 300 laps. It's the longest race of the year here tonight, Charles. So we asked Wesley what he's expecting. What are you expecting out of this one? I mean, we know it's going to be different. We've got the strategy with the tires, the fuel, going to come into play here tonight. What are you expecting to see here tonight for 300 laps?
I'm expecting some good racing. It's 5 flags. It's a short track. There's 24 of these cars out there. One thing you hope you don't see, but you're going to see it, Greg, and that is cautions. We're going to see some cautions here tonight. I would say even at, 10, 12, 15 cautions. Hopefully we don't have 15, but, 10 to 12 cautions with 300 laps, probably not to be unexpected. We're going to see quite a few of them. These guys are beating and banging. They're out there. Everybody wants to get a win. If you're looking to get a win anyway, something like this, like the Northwest Snowball Derby, the biggest race of the year, this is when you really want to let it shine. This There's no money on the line, anything like that. But what is on the line is pride and bragging rights.
Well, first off, I'm going to follow up something you said here with this one. If we get to 15 cautions tonight, I'm going to fly down to Pensacola, Florida, grab the chair that Wesley is sitting in right now, get on another plane, fly to Texas, and break it over your back for jinxing us here in this one. That's what's going to happen first off. Second off, I'm with you, though. I'm expecting a great race here tonight in Pensacola, Florida at the Five Flags Speedway. And I'm looking forward to the strategy that's going to happen tonight. Cars have made it through tech inspection, so we are going to be getting going in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break to make sure that everything is dialed in, and we will be right back with the start of tonight's Northwest Snowball Derby presented by Custom Fab.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold, to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customers. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees at yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Pensacola, Florida for the Northwest Snowball Derby presented by Custom Fab. This is the biggest race of the year, and for the fourth time, the super late model stars of the Northwest will hit the High Bank half mile of Pensacola, Florida. Only one former winner in the field here tonight. That is the defending winner of this race, the number 4 of Shane Quinn. Led this race at the end last year, picking up the victory, which was his second career Northwest Tour victory to make it 3, or he wound up taking home 3 on the year. Also picking up wins on the road course and Martinsville. By the way, road course next up here for the Northwest Tour. 2 separate road course races coming up here for the next broadcast on LSR TV. It's the annual Turning Right Challenge, I guess we can call it, here for the Northwest Super Late Model Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products. We're hitting 2 separate road courses in one night. We are going to Canadian Tire and Lime Rock for the road courses tonight. That is going to be coming up here in your next race here on LSR TV. So Charles, from a prestigious race like the Snowball to turning right and left for a night coming up here on LSR TV.
Yeah, that's something different. These guys, they're running short tracks, turning left. It's going to be a little bit different going left and right. And when you go to these road courses like that where you turn left and right, it really brings out a different type of racer. You see people, that we refer to maybe as back markers here on these short tracks. You put them on a road course where they have to use both directions on the wheel. And you may see some of these guys that you don't really mention a whole lot on the short tracks come to life on those road courses. It'll be interesting to see how the tides turn, or if they turn at all. And do we see some of those guys up at the front that we don't normally talk about?
Guys, you're going to have to keep an eye on in that race. They're going to be Shane Quinn, BJ Tidrick, Matt Hackathorn, among others, going up here in the Northwest Tour Road Course Challenge, I guess we're going to call it. We have to come up with a official name for this race. Drivers have entered a quick drivers meeting to go over the format one more time before we go into our 300 lap race, because...
Hey, Greg, can I say something real quick? Greg, I just want to say that I apologize to Caden Anderson and to Casey Garber. I in no way was trying to avoid my friends of the virtual world. But when they tried to approach me, it was when I was busy working. Hey, listen, I did get to meet them for a couple of minutes on Tuesday before I was doing the Snowball Derby kickoff party for Brady's. So hey, listen, it was awesome to hang out with them just for that little time. But it's kind of hard. It's been a very busy, grueling weekend. I think in total, in the last week, gentlemen, I think I've had honestly, there's always someone. I literally have been wide open since 5 o'clock this morning. Been at the track since 6 a.m. So, but I do want to say to Casey Garber and Caden Anderson, I would never blow anybody off. So definitely, it's good seeing them. And and Greg, I understand in the next couple of years you're gonna come to the Five Flags Speedway, and I promise you, I'll have you come up on the stage and do the worm with me.
There will be no worm, but I'm going to try to make it to the Snowball at some point. I'm going to try. I'm going to talk to my boys, Casey and Caden, about what you can expect price-wise, and we'll go from there. So hopefully in the next couple of years, I can be down there at the Snowball Derby.
Hey,
and thank you, Ken, for the hoodie, by the way.
But what if we get Charles to do the floss?
Well, I mean,
I will do the floss if you do the fired.
Do the fired.
There you go. There's my
that might happen if we all
That's
go
a negative. That's a negative.
That could happen if we all go to the Chili Bowl.
No, that's when you get the flu from the Chili Bowl. Regardless of that.
Here we go. Here we go. We are gridding up, and drivers are firing their cars up for this 300-lap main event, which means it's time to get down to business. 300 laps the distance tonight. We're going to take you through the starting lineup, presented as always by ComServe Wireless. And making his debut in the A main, he's going to lead him to green. It's Noah Johns in the number 27, with Ellie Musgrave, the female driver, in the field to his outside. In row 2 is going to be Bart Hector Jr. in the number 82. Starting third, best starting spot of the year. He rolls off with Isaiah Gill alongside. Bryce Beatty in the number 07 rounds out the top 5. Jason Day, B-main winner last week at Iowa, and roll off in 6th. Defending race winners Shane Quinn and Chris Carroll make up row number 4. Rammelthorn, Matt Hackathorn, and Gary Smith, the winner at USA, your top 10. Charles.
And rows at 6, Seth Frazier. I look to see him do good things here. Levi Allen on the outside in the 41. Row 7 is going to be the 44, Ryan Gormley, and the 8 of Travis Barnes. Row 8 is going to be the 48 of Travis McKinney and the 77 of Christian Hawley. I believe that is correct pronunciation on that. We'll see. Scott Mann in the 90 on row 9 alongside Hayden Blyvon in the 57. And row 10 going to be the 43 of Mark Farrier, I believe that's, and we'll see. And the 72 of BJ Tidrick. We'll run through the rest of it. Going to be the 20 of Nick Bellamy and Dylan Huffines. And rounding out the field is going to be the 64 Brock Denny and the 06 of Josh Washington. 24 drivers here for tonight's race. Well, it's going to be a good one. Again, 24 drivers. Hopefully not too many cautions, but 300 laps, caution laps not counting, Greg.
300 laps the distance tonight. Field in the hands of Noah Johns, who's coming around to take the green flag. We are underway here at the Custom Fab Northwest Snowball Derby.
And a good one indeed. You know, I'm impressed here too. Of all the people, Ellie Musgrave, who, by the way, was the leader there for second right now in the A main. Her best finish was the win of the B main thus far in the Northwest Tour. But right now, she is sitting in second place. The question is, can she hold on to it for the rest of the night?
Got a very fast car right behind her, though. That's the 82 of Bart Hector Jr. LSR TV on board in the number 82, trying to take a peek to the inside of Ellie Musgrave. Isaiah Gill and Bryce Beatty rounding out the top 5 right now. Then you find Shane Quinn, who's a guy you got to keep your eyes on in this one, the defending Northwest Snowball Derby winner in number 4, trying to make his way up there and get up there early to try to make this back-to-back, but he's got his teammate Matt Hackathorn right behind him in the number 84, trying to make his way up. Hackathorn has not won on the tour since season 2 at New Hampshire. He wants a win in this one early. Lap traffic already beginning to come into play here for the race leaders as Mark Farrer and Scott Mann have some issues. John's going to go to the outside. Musgrave going to get trapped down there, and a little bit of connection issues on the 23 as well as the field tries to snake their way around Farrer. 300 laps the distance tonight. Again, the longest race of the year for the tour. We're already 5 down, but 295 to go. It's a long way around here for 300 laps. And Noah John's doing a very good job up there for someone who has been a rookie on the tour, has attempted all 4 races thus far. This, of course, race number 5, but this is the first time he's been able to qualify for the A-Main tonight.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. One thing I just realized here, if you look at the sky here, it is blue skies, but it looks like the sun is going down. You see that yellow tint to the track, indicating that the sun is low on the horizon. It's not up in the air. This race possibly going to the nighttime, Greg.
You can expect this race to go into the nighttime, I believe, is what the consensus was with these drivers here in the pre-race mood earlier today in the drivers' meeting. They were expecting this race to go into the sunset here tonight as Noah Johns leads them around of 0.3 of a second over Ellie Musgrave. We're on board with Johns, looking out the back of Musgrave. Taking a peek there in the blue car was Bart Hector Jr. with Isaiah Gill and Bryce Beatty rounding out the top 10. Northwest Snowflake 100 was this past Friday on LSR TV. You can catch the replay in the archives as Hector taking a peek to the bottom of Ellie Musgrave, but Ellie able to shut the door. We now go on board with the number 23 of Musgrave, looking back at the 82 of Hector, and look how close Hector's able to get that Camaro right up on the back bumper of Musgrave. But going back to that race on this past Friday night, the Snowflake 100, Dan Lowther, who picked up the win for In Front Motorsports, did not transfer into the field. That is showing you just how powerful this field was tonight, that the Snowflake 100 winner not able to transfer into the A main. Going down the pit road here on lap number 13 as they come off turn number 4, Wesley Allen with a pit update.
So just like today for the 53rd Snowball Derby, where it was daytime conditions fighting the cloud cover around Pensacola, where Ty Majeski won the event. The same is going to be a transition for today for this event, the 4th annual Custom Fab Snowball Derby here on CRN Sports and LSR TV. The transition is simple. Yes, they're going to be able to take on tires. No fixed repairs as we discussed, but the one transition we'll have to keep an eye on is, of course, the ambient sunshine from the sunset to racing at night. Those will really virtually change these cars. The handling, the stagger, everything tight, loose will come to play as we approach the night hour here for this event at Five Flag Way.
So that is what you can expect weather-wise coming from this race. Watching Gary Smith as he's been able to get around now Chris Carroll to move up into the 7th position. Matt Hackathorn had something happen to the number 84 because he was up right behind Shane Quinn in 7th position, has fallen back to 14th and still having problems with that number 84 car. So something definitely gone sour on that number 84 of Hackathorn, as he's just right now trying to hold on. Has settled it down and gotten up to 13th position, trying to reel in CJ Howley in the number 77. Still Noah Johns up front, but is under pressure now from Ellie Musgrave, Bart Hector Jr., and Isaiah Kill. 4-car breakaway before you get to Shane Quinn, who's just made his way around Bryce Beatty and is trying to get his way up into the front now. Hey, speaking of Custom Fab and the Snowball Derby, Custom Fab is tonight's proud presenter of Share Your Seat. The grand prize for this one is a Custom Fab t-shirt courtesy of Custom Fab, and anyone in the Northwest knows all about Custom Fab and all that they do for racing here in the Northwest, and they have stepped up big as their annual sponsorship of the Snowball Derby. Tonight's LSR TV Share Your Seat prize is a Custom Fab t-shirt, and again, to enter, you gotta post a picture of how you're watching this race, tag LSR TV and iRacing Northwest Tour, and then you are entered into a shot to win a Custom Fab t-shirt courtesy of our great friends and tonight's presenting sponsor.
Yeah, Greg, I might have to hit these people up. It sounds like they do race car custom stuff, but it sounds like a metalworking shop, I would imagine. Hey, I'm always looking for a custom PC case builder that can customize me a case if they do metalwork. But regardless, I may have to shoot them a message at shot in the dark, but we'll try. I mean, you can't go wrong with supporting the sponsors that support racing, whether it's on the sim of iRacing or real life. It doesn't matter. If you've got a race car, support them. They support us, and they make what we do possible. So you definitely want to support them. But this battle for the lead here, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. Again, look at that battle. It's a 5-car breakaway for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5th place. Then about a 2-car, and then the rest. So they're spread out, but they're not super spread out. There's still some good racing going on from the front all the way to the rear of this field right now.
And 300 laps being the distance tonight, you're going to see these guys be patient right now, not take any unnecessary risks. As Johns may have caught the apron there just a hair, which caused him to slide up the track. Unfortunately for Musgrave, she's not able to capitalize as Hector Jr. is standing right there in the catbird seat waiting to pounce if something happens. Then you find Isaiah Gill and Shane Quinn. Quinn, the defending winner of this race in the number 4, the Quinn Property Management Chevy, just trying to get up there and get some stability going. He finished 3rd in the season opener in that number 4, but since then it's been a struggle for Shane Quinn, and then missed the Oxford 200 last week. So Shane Quinn in that number 4 car right there at the tail end of the field, over this line, I should say, he's just trying to get things settled down and get himself back into the racing groove that got him the win in this race last year, doing a nice job sitting up in the top 5. Then you find the Canadian Chris Carroll up there in the 97, just got around Beatty, and he's trying to reel the field in, and he's trying to bring other guys with him, including Travis Barnes and Seth Frazier, 2 guys we know are going to be making some noise by the end of this race. But Chris Carroll, another one of those drivers who's a rookie this season and has been impressive. New race leader Ellie Musgrave to the lead on the backstretch. She's going to come by and become the first female driver to lead laps in the A main here. Ellie Musgrave leads the Northwest Snowball Derby.
It'll be interesting to see, if we can get a chat with her if she wins this race. Again, leading lap 30 doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the thing, and we got trouble with the 14 going around.
That's going to put us under our first caution. Isaiah Gill, fourth place. The number 14 goes around off of turn number 4, noses it into the wall. We'll see if we can send Wesley Outland down there to catch up with the crew of the 14 and see what happened, as we're taking a look at a swag replay. Off of turn number 2, Gill right up there, kind of spaced out a little bit, and
that's a tough call there.
May have to take a look from the aerial cam, but it looked like Gill may have had to check up a little bit there to avoid running into the back of Hector, and Quinn had nowhere to go. This will tell the story right here. All aerial coverage brought to you by All American Pools. This is the lap before, so it'll be coming off of turn number 4 this time, as you see Ellie up there leading in the number 23.
And they're
going off into turn number 4 right here.
Ooh, just
right there.
Reaction.
Gill has to check up. Yeah, a check up in front, and unfortunately Quinn at the tail end just carried a little too much speed through that, and Gill gets caught in the back. And now we're seeing some different pit strategy here in this one. So Wesley, we're going to turn it down to you real quick, because not only hopefully you have a 14 update, but we also got cars on pit road.
Yeah, quickly to work is the Joe's Racing Products pit reporter here for this broadcast of the Custom Fab Derby. Isaiah Gill feels like it was a little bit of rough driving going on there, but he's fine with what's going on. He'll go down there and try to see what kind of damage got sustained. Meanwhile, we just got pit stops finishing up. Scott Mann, Mark Fryer, and a couple of others on the pit lane taking on work already, which I find very surprising, as we are just 30 laps into this 300-lap virtual event on iRacing for this Custom Fab Derby. So again, right now that'll shuffle up the scoring pylon, and Scott Mann looks like now he'll be the guy at the top of the board. Ellie Musgrave, Noah Johns, all these drivers. Actually, Ella Musgrave is going to actually be the new leader. So caution in the early going here for this event at Five Flag Speedway.
31 and make it 32 laps complete. Caution, actually, excuse me, I forgot. Caution laps do not count in this race here tonight. Shane Quinn did tap out. Remember, we do have the tap out rule here in the Northwest Tour. It's a self-policing tool. The drivers are told, hey, if you feel like you caused the caution, you tap out. That's where the punishment ends. You take your EOL penalty and it's done. It's forgotten. You're given 2 of those in a race. However, if you do not tap, it goes to the review board, and then it's determined whoever is at fault receives a post-race penalty.
Yeah, and then for anyone that's out there wondering why in the world are they not counting caution laps, it's an oval race. It's an asphalt race. Why are they not counting caution laps until the pace lights are off and we're going green next time? The reason being is that with these cars, to take fuel and tires, it is a long pit stop, and you could go 1, possibly 2 laps down just taking a pit stop. So that is the reason why they are not counting caution laps here. And even then, I still think this race will go by fast. We've already completed 30, fixing to complete the 31st lap, as we can't really lose a lap, but the green flag is back out, Greg.
Back in the air, and Ellie Musgrave with a nice jump into number 23. Chris Carroll kind of got caught sleeping there on the outside, and Bart Hector Jr. and Noah Johns both able to get by. Here comes Travis Barnes, 3-time winner on the tour as well, trying to follow suit. Inside lane definitely seems to be the preferred line here in the early stages, as Musgrave leading the way into number 23. Noah Johns going to fall in line in second. Hector in third. Carroll is going to fall in 5th behind Travis Barnes. Then you find Ryan Gormley. Gormley led a lot of laps in this race last year as well. Finished 2nd in points to Seth Frazier in his rookie season. This, of course, his 2nd year. He's another one who's run very well this season, but has yet to finish on the podium. But he led a lot of laps in this race in the past and was in contention for the race win at the end. Keep your eyes on the 44 out of Montana to make a move. Speaking of making a move, up there in second place, Bart Hector Jr. able to get to the bottom of Noah Johns, and just like that, the Freda driver is going to second. He's now trying to track down the race leader, Ellie Musgrave.
Yeah, Ellie Musgrave is going to be under fire here soon. She has a hot rod underneath her, but there's a lot of hot rods out there, so you've got to have the best hot rod there is of all the hot rods on the track. But she's doing it right now. But like I said, Hector going to be someone they're going to have to watch out for, as well as Barnes. Travis Barnes. Definitely someone I never count out of any race. Carroll Gormley there. Unfortunately, Noah Johns didn't have as good a restart. He fell back a little bit, but still, Brock Denny back there. We'll see if how he does here tonight. He said in the broadcast, I believe he was glad to get his wheel back in front. Announcing just wasn't for him.
Yeah, he said he was happy to get his wheel back. He let his younger brother Bryce race his wheel on Friday night in the Snowflake 100, while Brock joined myself and Dylan Huffines up in the announcer's tower for that Northwest Snowflake 100 that was won by Dan Lowther. You can catch it in the archives on LSR TV, and check out Brocco Lee and Double Duty Dilly on their broadcasting debuts. But we got a battle brewing for the race lead, because Hector has taken a couple of shots at Musgrave going for the lead in the number 23. He tried the inside a couple of times, just hasn't been able to seal the deal. What that's done, though, has allowed Travis Barnes to get right up on the back bumper of Hector and get Hector in a spot where he's got to make the pass soon, or Barnes is going to be able to make the pass on both of them if they're not careful. As you see Hector again trying the inside, might have the line this time as he shoots to the bottom, and he is going to get the preferred line through 3 and 4. Drag race to the front stretch, and yes, he does lead the lap. Bart Hector Jr. to the lead here in the Northwest Snowball Derby.
Yeah, and that is not where Ellie Musgrave wants to be on the outside. She's going to get freight trained right now. There's just not any grip up there. She might be able to squeeze in. We'll see. No, the 97 of Chris Carroll is going to get to the bottom as well. If I'm Ellie Musgrave, I'm going to have to just lick my wounds right now and potentially maybe just tap those brakes just a little bit. Let that 44 by and try to squeeze in between the 44 and the 27. But she's not. She's going to hang it out there on the outside. There she goes. That was the best move she can make right there.
Nice move by Musgrave to get in there back in front of Noah Johns, who's under heavy pressure from CJ Hawley and Brock Denny up there in the number 77 and 64 as we try to click laps away. But Travis Barnes not letting Hector get away at all in the number 8, because he is on the back bumper of Hector for the race lead. Chris Carroll lurking back there now in the number 97. Remember, he had trouble on the initial restart, which is what allowed Johns, Musgrave and company to get back up around him. But now that we've settled into this run just a little bit, he's been able to slowly pick his way back up there in 3rd spot. Ryan Gormley leaning back in 4th, ready to capitalize as well. But you're watching Travis Barnes try to make his way up through the field, and just right now just try to find his way around Hector, even peeking to the outside a little bit, trying to take a couple different things here. Barnes is seeing what works and what doesn't right now.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do here, especially as we're only lap 48 now of 300. Although, if you keep track of this race in 50 lap increments, of course, that would be 6 50 laps little segments, even though they're not broke up like that. That was just to keep track of them. We're 1/6 done with this race just about already. So even now, we're clicking away laps very quickly. And good news for me, of course, Greg, is only one caution so far. That means I'm not going to go wrestling style and have a chair beat over me later.
Oh, we still got plenty of time for that, my friend, because we are on lap number 50. 251 remain here in this one. Going to be 250 at the line, and we saw in the real snowball earlier today, it was smooth and calm for the first half of the race or so, and then things heated up in the second half. So anything can and will happen as Hector continues to lead the way, but Barnes putting pressure on. Barnes may have it off of turn number 2 here. He gets to the bottom.
Yeah, definitely Barnes. Like I said, somebody got to watch. You know it as well as I do. He is somebody you've got to look out for and see, anytime he's in a race, he's going to be a contender, as it looks like the 82 of Hector Jr. going to fall back just a little bit. I want to quickly, while we're watching this battle, you've got all these great drivers. They've got fans out there cheering for them. There's currently about 72 people watching Again, our goal is to beat 115. That is the highest we've seen. I know we can do it. I know these Northwest, fans out there are some of the best. So if you're out there, share this on social media, share it wherever you can. Let's see if we can't get 100+ viewing just on the YouTube side of things. Facebook, do the same thing. Get it out there, share it. I know we got about 20 or 30 watching over there, about 60 on YouTube. So share it out there. And again, share your seat. Because Custom Fab going to be giving away a t-shirt to one lucky winner, but you have to tag the iRacing Northwest Tour and LSR TV on Facebook when you share that so we can see it.
That's for a Custom Fab t-shirt. Going to send it back down to our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, Wesley Outland, an update on pit road.
Gentlemen, I was able to grab a few interviews with the drivers of BJ Tendrick and Seth Frazier with their crew. Basically, they're saying that it's going to be between a 2 to 3 tire stop. Basically, about the same scenario that you would see for the Snowball Derby in real. Now, they're saying that they can go around 150 to 160 laps on fuel. Tires, they can straighten it out to about 200 laps, but around lap 160 or so, they start using up rubber, meaning that the car will start getting loose on the edge of out of control. So, if that said, is it 2 stops, 3 stops? And if there's a lot of caution flags, gentlemen, I believe there could definitely be more. But definitely the scenario is a 2-3 tire stop here in the virtual Custom Fab Snowball Derby, and we have a caution on Speedway.
DJ Holly going around. Thank you, Wesley, for that. If you take a look at a swag replay, Holly racing with Bryce Beatty here, 77 and 07. This is going on for 7th position and just some contact. Ooh, yeah, that's more than just a little contact right there.
I'll take one more look at this if we can. And somebody else, by the way, I'm not sure who that was.
Someone was in the grass down there.
Let's try to look and see who that was. I'm not sure who that was.
That was Jason Day. Right there at 52, Jason Day having lap before there on pit or on the grass there.
Yeah, we saw that one. Let's go take a look and you'll see what happened to Jason Day here and see what caused him and just goes into the grass. We pretty much the other one cut and dry. We saw the incident there, and I think this one he just kind of broke loose. He was no real contact there. And, well, except for that contact, and that may have been a little payback. We may have to take one more look at that one there from the drone cam.
Levi Allen in the 41. Again, all aerial coverage brought to you by All American Pools. Race leader Travis Barnes came down pit road under this caution to take on some fuel and tires here for this one. So we are beginning to see those strategies. Now here,
there was the contact.
Right there. Yeah, there is some contact right there.
The 52 was not happy about it. Well, I don't know. I won't necessarily. I thought maybe he was unhappy and showing his displeasure, but that's a toss-up. He could have just been in that grass, Greg, and got those tires a little loose and slid back into him as well.
Yeah, he was already askew before the 41 even got there. Dave was trying to get caught up, and then right as this was settling down, with 07 and 77 happened. Back down to our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter Wesley Allen with an update on Dylan Huffines, it sounds like.
Dylan Huffines coming down to the pit lane in just a moment. You see him now making his way to pit stall box number 1. We're going to check and see how many tires in full he will take. Obviously, full adjustments possibly being done on the number 7, but currently he is the only driver that looks like he's step boxing coming to the pit lane. And Dylan Huffines back on the racetrack. We'll find out how many tires he took, as he is the only car, the lone wolf, to pit here around lap 60.
Very much, Wesley, down on pit road, catching up with Dylan Huffines. Dylan was the other driver who joined us in the Snowflake 100 up in here in the announcer's booth on Friday night. The race, of course, that was won by Dan Lowther. We're working on getting some more of the B League, the Northwest Tour Development Series races. We're working on getting some more of them streamed here on LSR TV in the future. So stay tuned for an announcement regarding that in the future. But the lights are off on the pace car, which means we are going to be going back to green flag racing this time, I do believe, as the pace car coming down. No, restart was waved off. We are going to stay green. or yellow for one more race. Bryce Beatty did tap on the caution in the 07, so he will be starting at the tail end of the field. The lineup was not yet sorted out. That's why the restart got waved off there. Chris Carroll is going to be the leader in the number 97 with Ryan Gormley, Bart Hector Jr., Ellie Musgrave, your top four.
Yeah,
Wesley Allen has an update on CJ Holly.
Yeah, back down on pit road, Christian Holly in the 77, bringing out our second caution flag as we approach 60 laps into this custom Fab Derby. Christian, what happened out there as we get ready to go back to green?
It just seems like came into me. It's just kind of the way it goes sometimes. We'll get back up there at 300 laps.
It is a long race, and again, that driver that got into him did say he would make the tap rule, and he said he's at the fault. So the 77 looks like he's okay. We go back to racing here at Five Flag Speedway.
Ollie underway here. We are back to green. Charles, sorry to cut you off there right on the restart. You had a point to hit on.
I was just going to mention here after the pit stops, Ellie Musgrave back at 7th position. She's got a mirror full of Scott Mann right now. And once again, she's stuck on that outside lane. So again, that outside lane just has not come in. And, you know, we talk about some of these races where we run 150 laps as the caution comes out. And it looks like we got a couple people involved. So we'll quickly take a look and see what happened back here. But possibly the 43 involved in it. So we'll jump back there and we'll get to that other point here in just a moment.
So we're taking a look at the swag replay. We're watching the 43 of Farrar. Ooh, contact perhaps with Dylan Huffines. And there was something else going on in front of them. Saw a lot of smoke up there. There's Seth Frazier sliding to a stop into number 32. But man, there looked like two separate accidents there because you saw the deal there with Huffines and Farrar, but there was smoke in front of them as well.
Yeah, we'll see if we can't take another look here and see what might have been going on here. Let's do this. Let's look at the nose cam here on that 43 machine and see if we can see what was going on in front of them. And yes, somebody
right there.
I'm still going to be in the same lap.
Believe that may have been the 52 and the 41 getting together.
Take a quick look at this one to see if we can find out. And if we can again try to find out where this was not the reason for the caution right here, of course, but it definitely was an issue going on the track. And there, right there, the 77 and the 41.
41 and 77 get together. Holly and Allen get together. So two separate incidents about a quarter of a lap or a quarter of a second apart, bringing out the caution. Wesley Allen is caught up down there on pit road. The Joe's Racing Products pit reporters with Dylan Huffines.
Yeah, Dylan Huffines just pitted a couple moments ago in the number 7, just around the chaos and calamity that just happened. By the way, heading Playbon on the pit lane. He's going to take on tires and fuel. You know, as I look at that number 7 car, it reminds me of John DeAngelis, man out of Hubertus, Wisconsin, and Dylan Huffines. How things going for you right now here with a lot of cautions in the opening 65 laps so far?
Well, things were going pretty good early on, but then before that, the guy stopped in the middle of the corner. I don't know what he was really doing, but I had no other way of stopping, so I ran into him. But I'm just going to try to salvage what I can from this race and see where I can get up to, I guess.
All right, bud, we'll see what goes on. Huffines definitely sounds a little disturbed. Mark Fryer is on lane as well. Just saw him, and we're under the yellow flag. Be back with more here from Five Flag Speedway. As again, gentlemen, a lot of cautions here in the opening 6 laps.
Thank you very much, Wesley. You see our race leader. Lights are off on the pace car, so good and set to come back to a green flag. Chris Carroll, Ryan Gormley, Bart Hector Jr. Looks like we have made the switch to single file racing. Single file restarts here moving forward as we work lap number 61. Green flag back in the air, and Chris Carroll leads him to green. Gormley, Hector, Denny, and Bellamy up here in the top 5 right now. Nick Bellamy, he has had to work his way in through the C main to get up here into this one, and now the North Wilkesboro winner sits in the top 5.
Yeah, he's doing an amazing job. Again, some movers and shakers here tonight. Each time we have a caution, we see a couple of different drivers up in the top 5 that weren't there just a few laps before. Let's take a wide angle here and see this track in all its wonder here. That sun is still going down. It makes you wonder, Greg, if these guys are going into the backstretch right now, coming into turn 3 and 4, right there, that sun's going to be coming in right about right there. So it makes you wonder, and actually it's behind them, so it won't be too bad, but it's definitely a lot brighter over there on that side of the track. So it's something to look for. That track may be warming up as well, as it's only 96 degrees on the track surface. Quite a bit cooler than we're used to seeing to those 130, 140 degree track temps.
And that's a result of the time of day, as we have another caution on the racetrack. And we're hearing that it may be BJ Tidrick in the number 72 swag replay on screen. Back there with Travis Barnes in the number 8. Scott Mann in front of him in the 90. Taking a look at what happened. It looked like it was off of turn number 2. Barnes carries a lot of speed into the corner and just gets into Tidrick.
Ooh, and a little more contact after that, but nothing too major. But again, caution out for Lee for about the 4th or 5th time here tonight.
I believe that was Travis Barnes' second incident of the day, because he took his second tap out, which he reaches the limit. Travis Barnes has been parked for the night here in this one in the number 8. Travis Barnes, 2 tap outs done for the night. Wesley Outland down there with BJ Tidrick.
I am finding out that information again. Barnes out of the race because of a penalty of too many. And man, I'll tell you what, it reminds me of the Real Snowflake 100 and all the other races that I got called at Five Flags Speedway over the week. BJ Tidrick, what'd you take of what happened on the racetrack and how badly damaged is your car?
I don't think we're in too bad a shape. I got a little bit of damage there, but I mean, I don't know. I think we'll be all right. It's early in the race. Unfortunately, I got turned around also at the in the B main, but I was able to fight back for a transfer spot. It just kind of sucks this early in the race getting turned around like that.
That's the thoughts of BJ Tidrick, and I'm going to throw us to commercial. Back with more coverage of the Custom Fab Derby, Five Flags Speedway, when we return on LSR TV and CRN Sports.
Just took the green flag here at Five Flags Speedway. Chris Carroll out front. Got through turn 2 on the restart here. Gormley trying to get back up in the number 44, Hector. And Brock Denny has worked his way up into 4th position in the Tucker Dog Special, with Nick Bellamy right behind him in the Fear the Beard Special, I guess we can call the number 20 of Bellamy. Isaiah Gill has rallied back into the top 10 after his incident early in the day. Ellie Musgrave in the 23. By the way, we got an update. It was not 2 incidents for Travis Barnes. That was 1 incident for Barnes. However, he was on probation for not tapping in a wreck last week. So when you're on probation, it's only 1 instance that you're allowed. He had that 1. He's done for the day because he was on probation from last week for failing to tap out for causing a yellow. That is why Barnes has been parked for the day.
And that's the worst way to go out too. You know, you're already on probation, and then you get an incident, have to park it for the night. You know, especially on one of the biggest races, well, the biggest race of the year. You know, you definitely don't want to be out of the race this early. Again, you're on lap 70 of 300, so we still have a lot of racing left to go. And at the rate we're going, I hate to say this, Greg, but at the rate we're going, I may need to invest in some kind of back plate for my back.
Now we can talk to Wesley and see if he's got any spare parts for the chair that he's willing to part with for to help you out there in this one. Chris Carroll, Gormley.
In Alabama, not in Florida.
That's close enough.
I'm surprised. I figured for sure they'd let him keep the chair. I mean, after all,
I was
they
gonna
made
say,
him pay
yeah.
for breaking it. So, I mean, at least they do is let him have the parts from it.
I think they
I would at
fixed
least keep. I would at least keep a piece of it.
it.
Yeah.
They found the screws, nuts, and bolts under the mattress.
Under the mattress.
Battle breaking out for fourth place is Bellamy to the inside of Denny. We won't go down that road as Bellamy to the inside of Denny. Here comes Gill in the 14. Taking a peek down to the bottom as well. This is going on for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Top 3 have broken away and have begun to space out a little bit. Chris Carroll, Ryan Gormley, and Bart Hector Jr. But the battle continuing here for 4th.
Yeah, and remember the 14 was involved in a incident early on. Not too many laps ago. And as I worked their way back, and Isaiah Gill, we saw him fall through the field after getting spun there. So good job to recover back through the field. We're going to go by the number 20 of Bellamy. Bellamy going to concede that spot. There's just nothing on that outside groove yet. We haven't seen it work. We didn't see it work last week at Oxford Plains, and I don't see it working here. The plus side to running 300 laps, though, Greg, is could we potentially see that outside groove come in? Again, this is 150 more laps than we had at Oxford Plains, and we didn't see the outside lane come in at all there. Will we see it here tonight with those an additional 150 laps?
We could very well see it here in this one because you're eventually going to start wanting to do different stuff. And I'm seeing drivers take a higher entry in turn number 1, trying out that top line, seeing if it's coming in at all. The main one I'm watching on this one is Matt Hackathorn in the number 84. Under pressure right now from Ellie Musgrave, but he was kind of trying to top there in turn 1. Didn't work to his liking, and he fell back in there behind Dylan Huffines in the number 7. But Hackathorn is trying that higher line in the 84. It's trying to see if it's there and see if it's coming in or not.
Yeah, we'll see if it is coming in at all. I don't think it is just yet. But then again, like I said, it could come in later. You look a little behind these guys, and they're still duking it out. They were 3 wide for a moment, and this is at the rear of the field, back 15th, 16th, 17th place, as we are 80 laps down, working lap 80. Well, say 81 down, working lap 82 of 300. Still a lot of action left to go as I see some smoke there, but I do believe that was a connection problem, not someone in trouble on the track, as nobody's spinning out. But again, Ellie Musgrave up on the high side, losing some time in the battle for that lead. Still hasn't really changed too much, as Ryan Gormley still about 3/10 away, as Chris Carroll leading this thing in the 97 machine.
Carroll up front leading with Gormley lurking behind him in the 97, but Gormley is beginning to shave it down just a little bit, trying to reel him in, and Hector's right back there just waiting for them to start slicing and dicing to let himself get up there and take an opportunity to try to get past both of them. Then you find Isaiah Gill in the 14 as you see Hector rolling back there in the number 14. There is Gill. He has worked his way through the field after having that issue on the first caution back around lap 30. Our Joe's Racing Products Pit reporter Wesley Allen has caught up with the race leader, the 97 team.
7 positions right now is Chris Carroll. I just spoke to Chris and the crew just a moment ago on the virtual pit lane, and they said the car is really, really strong. They're talking about making some chassis adjustments on the track bar the next time they get a caution. They also do believe that this could be the start of the long green flag run. They got a lot of those 4 or 5 cautions out of their way. They believe that this could be the stretch to halfway or even to lap 200. So they're going to see how far they can put this car during this long green flag run. They're efforting.
Wesley looking for a long green flag run here in this one. Things have begun to settle down as this spread all throughout the field. The first battle is back here for 16th position between Levi Allen, Hayden Plybon and company up here, and Hackathorn up on the outside there as well. Levi Allen lurking back there. Plybon, the one making the moves in the 57. He gained a couple of spots in that pass to move up into 14th position in the number 57, and he's a guy who's looking for some redemption. Finished 4th in the Snowflake 100 earlier in the day. trying to hold on and gain as much ground as he can. Finished 4th in the Snowflake on Friday night, trying to transfer that success over here to the Snowball Derby here, the Northwest Snowball Derby. Josh Washington, who finished 2nd in the Snowflake 100, he has worked his way up from 24th to 7th in that number 06, trying to make his way up there as well. Washington taking that seat time he gained at the race on Friday night and transferring it over to this one tonight, Charles.
Yeah, and that makes you wonder, you know, how much everybody knows seat time is important, but just how important was that seat time here? And, you know, and I wonder that I asked that question for that. I'd love to talk to the drivers about it because yes, seat time is important. You get to know the track, but you're racing with a different group of drivers that aren't necessarily in this because remember, excuse me, if you're one of these top 12 in the points right now, you cannot come and race in the B League. So those top 12 guys don't get that extra seat time, and the ones that are, you know, 13th on that do race in it, they're not racing with the top 12, the, you know, the fast guys in there. So seat time on the track, good, but it doesn't really help you with the competition because you really don't get to get an extra race with them per se to kind of fill out how they drive.
And that's the thing, though, as the top 12 were not able to run in that Snowflake 100. The seat time also looked like it was going to pay off for Dan Lowther. Not only, remember, did he run that Snowflake 100 and win the Snowflake 100, he ran the Outlaw Esports race here a couple of weeks ago, the Turkey Derby, 200 laps to get ready for that race. Dan Lowther did not transfer into the race through the B main because of a late race incident. So all that track prep and all that time that Dan Lowther put in to get ready for this race gets taken away with 5 laps to go in the B main. It was a heartbreaker for Dan Lowther. No doubt he is going to be coming back with a vengeance next time the Super Late Model Tour is in action.
Yeah, it's that is the worst way to lose it right there when you've done so good and for so long, and then just to have it kind of taken out from under you at the last minute. He'll definitely be coming back, and what we are coming back to, or two, I should say, we're not really back to it. That is the 100 lap mark. As our leader right now, the 97 of Chris Carroll, right there, going to start lap 100. We will have 100 down next time by.
200 to go. Wesley has an update. Our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter has caught up with second place. His crew, Ryan Gormley.
I did just check with Ryan Gormley. He is up 11 positions, and he feels very, very comfortable with the car for right now. He said, Wesley, I'm just hanging back. He believes the same thing as Carroll is, that there is this stretch of this long green flag run like you see here every year at the Snowball Derby. The same can be said here now for the Custom Fab Derby. He says that he's feeling that the car is really strong, but as it moves into sunset and into the night, they're going to have to make some changes. But again, the crew happy with the machine. 44 in second right now.
Thank you, Wesley Gormley in second place. Change for third. Isaiah Gill was able to track down and pass Bart Hector Jr. in the number 82. So Gill back up into third position now in the number 14, was able to get past Hector, and Bart Hector Jr. recognized and said, hey, you know what, 14's much faster than me right now. Hector, just move it over, let him go, let Isaiah go up there, because remember, it's not like a normal race right now. You're able to use up the tires a little bit more than you would because you have additional sets of tires on pit road tonight. 3 sets of tires on pit road to go along with the 4 you started on. A 16 tire race here as opposed to just a 4 tire race that we're used to seeing in the tour. So we know the different strategies are beginning to come into play. And right now, Isaiah Gill is thinking, hey, I've got 3 sets of tires to burn on pit road. I can go as much as I can. Isaiah Gill has reeled his way in from the back of the pack up into third, trying to track down now Ryan Gormley and Chris Carroll.
Yeah, now, you know, I want to wonder just how, how these cars are handling for these drivers. Some want to ask when we get a chance is, are they handling better with a full tank of fuel? That's what I want to know. And the only reason I ask that is because you have people currently like Brock Denny, Looks like Noah Johns, Ellie Musgrave. These people have not come down at all. They have not come down in pit. They're going to be running a lot lower on fuel than everybody else. Does having that fuel in the car make it handle a little better? We know there are specific cars out there, and setups for that matter, that handle better with more fuel in the tank. It weights the car down, helps to get you around the corner, or is it handling better empty? Those are the questions we don't know. These drivers are having to face on the track right now, and questions I want to ask them if we get that chance to, but it makes you wonder if that's why someone like Musgrave and Johns have fallen back in this field, because they have not been down pit road at all compared to everyone else.
It very well could be. Very well could be, Charles, because remember, when it comes to the setups, these drivers, they build the setup themselves. It's a custom fixed setup, but on the Tuesday night before the race, these drivers will enter a 6-hour practice, and they will play around with different setups. We've got trouble going off in turn number 4. It's Matt Hackathorn in the 84 going around. I believe it was contact with Dylan Huffines in the number 7 that caused Hackathorn to go around right at the apex of 3 and 4. We take a look at a swag replay. This the lap beforehand. That's Hackathorn right there in the black and white 84, yellow numbers on board. That's Huffines right behind them, and going off into turn number 3. Huffines got a big run, and I think they just got together right there.
And definitely just a little contact and a little more just to ensure that he got him there. And he's gonna drive it backwards to get where he's going, apparently.
And Dylan Huffines in the number 7 also has been parked for this one. Not sure if he was also on probation or if that's his second tap, but Huffines done for the day. Wesley Outland, the Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, because pit road's a busy place.
You see the 84 car, Matt Hackathorn, coming onto the pit. We're also seeing another group of cars onto the pit lane. The 41, the 44, Levi Allen, Ryan Gormley. There you go. Tidrick, Bellamy, Diddy, they're all in. Johns, who led some of the race earlier in the opening 100 laps on pit lane. So is Ellie Musgrave, Hector, Gill, Beatty, Mann, Carroll, Allen, Plybon, Furry, all on the pit lane. 4 tires and fuel. So much for that long green flag, guys. It's gone. We'll find out and get a word with the 84 on his thoughts what happened with Fines in a moment with Hackathorn.
Wesley heading down to see if he can catch up with Hackathorn under caution once again. About half the field came down pit road. Ryan Gormley, I believe, did not in the number 44, so he will be the race leader here in this race. Actually, nope, he's lining up at the tail end. He is going to be driver came down. Looks like the first car to not come down pit road was the 06 of Josh Washington. Will be the race leader when we go back green. And then there's CJ Hawley in second. Jason Day, Travis McKinney. Of course, remember, caution laps not counting tonight, so we've got to wait until the green flag falls to get the official rundown. But it looks like Josh Washington will be the race leader here when we go back to green flag. Wesley Allen has caught up with Ramathorn.
Ramathorn, Matt Hackathorn, the 84. What's your take on what happened between you and Huffines? And he's parked now.
Just slow cars. It's hard to pass on the outside. I think it might come in when it starts cooling down, but we just all keep getting jacked up behind slower cars, and the accordion can only go so far before it starts hitting.
Kind of reminds me a lot of a snowball derby from last year. That's the thoughts of the driver of Hackathorn as we get ready to come back to green next time. Bye, Charles.
Yeah, Greg, we got a good amount here. Again, I'm going to harp this as many times as we can here for the fans tonight. Make sure you share your seat. Let us know where and how you're watching from, and a tag. You got to tag the iRacing Northwest Tour and LSR TV in the post on Facebook so we can see it. Otherwise, we're unfortunately not friends with everybody. We're friendly people, Greg. We're just not friends with everybody. It's impossible, but we just can't do that. But the lights are going off. Share it out there. Let us know where you are. Share it. We got about 80 people watching right now here on a Sunday night. But Greg, like you mentioned there, your top 5 right now did not come down pit road.
We'll look at the official rundown for you when we go back green. It looks like Washington, Hawley, McKinney's up there. I believe we saw Jason Day up there as well. We'll get a rundown as the green flag falls. Back underway. Yes, Jason Day, Travis McKinney, Gary Smith, your 5 drivers that did not come down. How about Gary Smith in the 79? He's under pressure from Ryan Gormley, but he had a great run at USA in the season opener. Charles led the most laps in that one, but unfortunately doesn't look like the pit strategy is going to work for the former NASCAR Northwest Tour driver, the old Winston West driver from back in the day up north of the border. Kind of getting freight trained right now.
Yeah, he's getting freight trained, and I'm not gonna lie. Every time I see him in that bright orange, red, yellow car, the first thing that comes to mind is Reese's, where they say "not sorry."
I guess we can go with that one.
I would like Snickers too.
No, Snickers satisfy you, then you're full. I want to keep eating.
I've always been more of a Nestle Crunch guy myself. Well, Gary's from Canada. They got my all-time favorite one up there, Coffee Crisp up there. So maybe we'll see if we can talk him into shipping some down here to Spokane for me, because we can't get across the border for the time being right now. Hey, battle breaking out for third. Ryan Gormley using those fresh tires to his advantage. He has already worked his way up in the third and going after CJ Hawley for second now in the number 44. Gormley, the fastest car on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, he's doing fantastic right now in that 44 machine. He's pretty much been everywhere except for the lead when it comes to being up front. So he is going to try to work his way through, and we've seen quite a few different leaders here tonight as well. The one that hasn't really progressed much more since her stint up front is Ellie Musgrave, and she did come down pit road and had a 33-second stop. I'm not sure if that was all 4 tires or not, but we know pit stops will be extended time. It takes us quite a bit of time to put 4 tires and fuel on one of these super late models.
Yeah, it's a long pit stop. Ryan Gormley just took the lead away in the number 44, so Ryan Gormley to the lead here in the Northwest Snowball Derby. Back out front here at Five Flags. Remember, last year he led a lot of laps in this race, looked to be in position to win late, but Shane Quinn was able to get away from it at the end. For update, Quinn, after being up as high as third earlier today, now being scored 17th position, just kind of riding it out right now. We'll see if maybe Wesley Allen can catch up with our defending race winner in this event, Shane Quinn, in the number 4, and see if he can check out what the crew is up to on the number 4 car, the defending race winner, and see what their strategy is right now. They're just kind of hanging in the back right now as Gormley in the 44 leads the way. Scott Mann up in second, and Charles, we've talked about it over the last couple months or so. Scott Mann has shown a lot of speed in this 90 car.
Yeah, I always knew, you look at the Northwest Cup series, truck series, anytime Scott Mann's there, he's a threat, and he does typically show up for those short track races. We knew he was a short track, I won't say ringer because he does race other stuff, but he's definitely really good at the short track stuff, and he's showing that here tonight as he's sitting in second place, and he's moved up quite a few spots. The question is, does he have enough to get the win here tonight? As you're going against Gormley, who's fast here tonight, and Nick Bellamy fixing to get by him. And again, another victim of the high side, and he is going to get high side hustled, and he's going to get shuffled back.
Bellamy up in second place, winner at North Wilkesboro earlier this season. The first ever visit to North Wilkesboro for the Northwest Tour was Nick Bellamy's first career win, trying to track down Ryan Gormley and get the lead here at the Snowball Derby presented by Custom Fab. But Tidrick, he's trying to higher line as well in the number 72. Scott Mann up in fourth. Then we find the Tucker Dog Special, Brock Denny, who's battling with Chris Carroll right now, who has shown a lot of speed. And look at what the pit strategy difference can do, Charles, because remember, Matt Hackathorn involved in that last caution, already back up into 7th place.
Yeah, he's doing a amazing job. He's like a little baby, as they say. They bounce right back. Little kids, that's what he's doing around here. He bounces back no matter what happens. Everybody gets a little mulligan out on the track. He is doing a great job at that. It's really just going to be a matter of seeing who comes out on top. We're closing in, though, 128. We're just about at the halfway point, Greg. Caution laps not counting or not, this race we're running about 15, 16-second lap times. That's 4 laps a minute. We are clicking away laps in a hurry. And, I figure we'll be here about 2.5, 3 hours by the time it's all said and done with post-race show and everything. But for 300 laps, caution laps not counting, that's not a bad day of racing here at Five Flags for the Northwest Snowball Derby.
Yeah, and that's just showing the talent in this field. Shane Quinn in the number 4, trying to make his way up now. We checked in with him. He was back in 17th. He has just worked his way to 12th as he gets around Isaiah Gill. Hayden Plybon in the 57, also beginning to make his way up in the number 57 card. The State Line Speedway late model champion, Coca-Cola late model champion, he has worked his way back into the top 15 after being stuck in the back earlier in this one. Remember, he had a lot of speed in the 57. You check in with his teammate Brock Denny. Dan Lowther is spotting for Brock Denny tonight. We talked about Lowther a few moments ago. He's up in the spotter stand for Brock Denny here tonight.
And then, Greg, I'm not sure if you caught that
together
a second ago. Brock Denny got way wicked loose. He was sideways on the track. He saved it, but that did allow, unfortunately, the 97 to get by him. But he was completely sideways going to through 3 and 4. He does recover from it, and he is all over the back bumper right now of Chris Carroll. But again, it makes you wonder. He was down pit road 22 laps ago. How quickly are these tires wearing out? Again, you have 3 sets minus the one that's, or not including the one on your car, so 4 total sets. How quickly are these tires wearing out, and how big of a strategy is tires going to play into the victory here tonight?
Charles. Hey, Charles. So that we're saying that you could go around 200 laps a set of tires, and so around 150 laps or so. Last 50 laps, 160 being nice here. The last 40 laps you can really struggle on a set of tires. The question is what type of tires did the Virus Ply virtual tires be? Do you get firepower quicker and use up the rubber? Is it the way that you're on the inside or the middle of the outside groove of the racetrack? All of these things that are going on can cause you to use up your tires, and even just being aggressive or non-aggressive can cause you to use up your tires very quickly as well.
It definitely can. In 200 laps on tires, Greg, you mentioned earlier, I believe it was 160 laps on fuel. That's a good thing, Greg. You've been around racing long enough as well as I have. Wesley has as well, where you have, you can go 160 laps on fuel, 200 laps on tires. That's good. That's what you want. When it's the other way around and you can go, say 30 laps on fuel and or tires and 60, 70 laps on fuel, that's a bad scenario right there when your tires are shot well before you can come down for fuel.
Yeah, because you have no choice but to stay out there and keep that track position. Otherwise, like you said, you're going to be pinned 3-4 laps down by the end of it. We figured it out about 33 seconds or so on pit road for 4 tires and a full tank of fuel. You're clicking away laps 17.1 seconds. They are going to fall in 2 to 3, maybe even 4 laps down if they're not up to speed by the time it settles down once again. Ryan Gormley has broken away now from second place. BJ Tidrick able to get around Nick Bellamy in the number 20. Scott Mann, Chris Carroll, your top 5, as Carroll was finally able to get around Brock Denny. Then you find Seth Frazier, Matt Hackathorn, Bart Hector Jr., and Noah Johns checking in again with the pole sitter tonight. Noah Johns, the 27. Remember, 16 car invert here for this race. So the 16th place qualifier, that young man right there, Noah Johns in the 27, started on the pole and he's in the wall off of turn number 2. And he pancaked the wall there because that allows Shane Quinn to be right there and try to capitalize. The defending Northwest Snowball Derby champion trying to crack the top 10, and he will, as Johns just gives him the bottom and Isaiah Gill follows through.
Yeah, and then that's where it makes you you want to talk about it. I want to talk about this point because that puts the 27 and the 23. They were front row at the start of this race because of the invert, 16 car invert. Basically, the entire field was inverted at this point. You look at the 27 and the 23, and more importantly, the 23 right now, because she led laps in this. She usually when you see an invert like that, they lead maybe the first lap and then they just get railroaded because, they're mired back in the field. She led a good probably 10 or 15 laps or more before she got overtaken. So, my point is, this league, how competitive these drivers are. Even with a 16-car invert, when you would have been back in 16th to 18th place and you get inverted to the front, she was still able to hold her own, and so were other drivers up there that got inverted. So just because you start in the back doesn't mean you're slow.
No, you have got to work your way up to the back. Remember also, the top 3 from the last race also have to start at the very tail end of the field, which tonight was 2nd and 3rd place at Oxford last week, which was Josh Washington in the 06 and Brock Denny in the 64, 2nd and 3rd, because race winner Caden Anderson was down at the Real Snowball Derby, not able to compete in this race, along with Casey Garber, who won at Iowa earlier this year. Turning it back down the pit road, where Wesley Allen has caught up with Noah Johns.
And we're also approaching halfway for the second half of the Custom Fab Derby from the virtual Five Flags Speedway. Just spoke to Noah Johns. He's currently in the 12th position. He has lost 11 spots on the racetrack, and he says, and I quote Charles and Greg, "The car is tightening up. I am starting to fall back. I need to just back her down. I'm going to hope for a caution. When I get a caution, then I'm going to take on new tires." Again, the tires went away. He hit that wall and had some towing damage on the right rear and the right front, where he kind of pancaked it on the backstretch, gentlemen. And again, that car just kind of falling back, needs a caution. Hopefully he'll get one here in the next 50 laps, and we're halfway here at the virtual Snowball Derby here in the Custom Fab Derby for the iRacing Northwest Tour, presented by Joe's Racing Product.
Just past halfway here in the Northwest Snowball Derby, presented by Custom Fab, and the iRacing Northwest Tour, presented by Joe's Racing Products. Ryan Gormley, BJ Tidrick, Nick Bellamy, Chris Carroll, Scott Mann, your top 5. As they go single file, let's do a little side-by-side. You won't miss a thing, and we'll get another chance to thank one of our great sponsors here. We're going side-by-side here at Five Flags Speedway. You won't miss a thing. We'll be right back here on LSR TV and CRN Sports as your Sawblade top 5 on screen.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold, to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customers. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees at yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Back at Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola, Florida for the Custom Fab Northwest Snowball Derby, and Ryan Gormley continues to lead the way just past halfway in the number 44. BJ Tidrick and Chris Carroll trying to make their way up in second and third. Scott Mann, Brock Denny, your top 5 right now. Then we find Seth Frazier, and Charles, let's pick up the defending series champion Wenatchee Washington's Seth Frazier in that number 32, again sporting the Charlie Brown Christmas paint scheme. And big thank you to Mike Wood Race Designs for putting up not just Seth Frazier's Charlie Brown cars. We have a caution out. CJ Hawley and Travis McKinney involved in the 77 and 48. Hawley and McKinney having some contact there. We take a look at a swag replay. We'll finish up there in a moment as Hawley and McKinney go off in turn number 3. And right there, McKinney gets in the Hawley.
Oh, Aldo, who was that?
That was
87?
Beatty. Bryce Beat 07. That was Bryce
07.
Beatty in the 07.
He got a little bit of a piece of that. So let's take another look here. I want to look at the drone camera against the 77 and the 48. And the 77, not a stranger. He's been involved in another incident earlier today. I just want to see if he was already getting loose here or nope, just a little bit of contact right there sends him around. And right there's the 07 just hammers the point home there. Y'all are together. Well, I'm going to push you a little more together as he gets a little bit of damage. But obviously the 48 looking to be probably going to be tapping out for that one. But unfortunate for both of them as they are going to have to come down pit road.
Pit stops on pit road, which means we're going down to our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, Wesley Outland.
So Tedrick will stay on race course. Travis McKinney, Christian Hawley, Josh Washington, Jason Day, Travis McKinney, Christian Hawley, Mark Fryer, all of these guys we just mentioned coming down to the pit lane in his tires and fuel. We mentioned Johns. He needed a pit stop as his car was beginning to tighten up and free up. Speaking of Noah Johns, we are going to grab an interview with him right now. He said, Wesley, next caution, can you grab me in the booth? I said, sure, we'll get him. So we're actually getting ready to grab that driver and talk with him and get his thoughts on his car really quickly. Noah Johns in that number 27 machine, and let him talk to us about what's going on. Noah, we noticed as we see more cars coming to the pit lane for work. Musgrave, Washington, Beatty. Your car hit the wall, had some problems. You said it was tightening up when I spoke to you and the crew a minute ago. You need this caution flag. You finally got it. What are you going to do to fix the 27?
For the next caution, like I'll stay after another run, then I'll go and fix it, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I that was my mistake there. It's just her is just hard. I'm just pretty bad, to be honest. But yeah, I'll get it fixed next caution.
All right, so there's the thoughts, gentlemen. You kind of hear how kind of frustrated and a little disappointed, heartbreaking the driver of Noah Johns is in the 27, but he'll pick himself up. Hopefully he can dust himself off, and we'll get ready to go back for the restart as we approach the final 100 laps. BJ Tedrick, the man out in front, the number 72, up 19 positions when they come back to green.
Tedrick in the number 72, still searching for that first Northwest Tour victory, but he's been kind of the brainchild behind it, the evil mastermind, if you will, for BJ Tedrick bringing this all together. Him and Seth Frazier brought their heads together 4 winters ago and said, hey, let's do this. Let's do an iRacing Northwest Tour. And look at what it's grown into. Now we had 49 cars attempt the Snowball Derby here tonight for the Northwest, the Custom Fab Northwest Snowball Derby. We've been averaging 50 plus cars each race for this is now race number 5 on the season. Pace car is in, so you can't think what BJ Tedrick and Seth Frazier have done enough. Green flag back in the air as he breaks away. Look who is up to second now. Hayden Fibon in the 57. The Coca-Cola late model champion at State Line Speedway has worked his way up into second now with some pit strategy, Charles.
Yeah, strategy is going to be a good and a very important part of this race. Along with strategy, some clean racing, but look at this group back here. They are 2 wide, nearly 3 deep. You know, we're past the halfway point, coming up on lap 170. Before you know it, there'll be less than 100 to go. With this many laps, Greg, and this short of a track, as I saw what you saw, some sparks coming off the wall, I think from the 27 machine. When is go time here with this stout of a field? Is it your typical 20 laps to go, or are you going to go maybe an extra 10 laps here, 30 laps to go to get to the front if you have something for the leader, just so you know you have plenty of time?
If it's me, go time is lap 200. 100 laps to go. This is the Northwest Snowball Derby. This is the biggest race of the year. You want to go, and you want to go as early as possible. So I think go time is the final 100 laps of this one, unless you're in a spot like Tidrick or Gormley and company up there in the top 5. But if you're back here in the mix of this battle with, say, you know, Seth Frazier back here, Nick Bellamy, the battle for 10th, you've got Gary Smith, Bart Hector Jr. and company back there. If you're back there, go time's lap 100. You got to get going, and you got to get going as soon as you can. Otherwise, you're just going to run out of time because of how quickly the laps tick away here. I'm looking for these guys to really start going in the next 30 or so laps. As we bottleneck, we got trouble. Scott Mann around in the number 90, noses it in the inside wall. No caution as of yet. He's off the racing surface, gets it going. This should bring out a caution here as he tries to get it going. Still green, still green. There go the leaders. Nice job by Mann to back down and get himself out of harm's way, and he's just going to go ahead and call it right there and head back to pit road.
I'm
catch
really,
a break there.
I'm shocked that did not bring out the caution.
Oh, I thought for sure we were going to see a yellow there.
Yeah,
but
you
that
know,
was below the racing surface. But when he came up and stopped and threw it in reverse, I thought for sure that was going to register a yellow flag right there.
Yeah, I did too. And the fact that it didn't, definitely surprising. But you know, maybe iRacing maybe they got their stuff together here. I mean, not that they didn't before, but maybe they did. And they say, hey, Scott Mann's a good driver. He's not going to do anything, crazy. He didn't. He was trying to get turned around, knew he couldn't, and just backed it up and stopped it off the racing surface, let him go by, and then went ahead and towed it to the pits. So he spares the caution. It definitely hurt his night, but as a driver in this field, these drivers that may have saw him and, saw him stay down there, that just gets a bonus, I respect this driver kind of thing.
Yeah, and that, again, goes back to kind of the self-policing thing we talk about with the tap-out rule. That's just another aspect of that. Whoa, Brock Denny breaking really loose in the turn number 1. Oh, my goodness. Brock Denny going to lose a couple of spots here to Gary Smith and Bart Hector Jr. That number 64 was all kinds of sideways going through turn 1 this last time by. You're watching the battle for third right now between Isaiah Gill, BJ Tidrick, and Levi Allen in the number 41. Driver from over on the coast, along with Isaiah Gill up here alongside the Tri-City driver, BJ Tidrick. Gill there on the inside. There you check in as the caution is out. We have a big pile up on the backstretch. Bryce Beatty, CJ Hawley, and Shane Quinn, the defending winner of this race, may have been caught up as well.
Have a go back, and again, the third caution of the night. It looks like that the 77 has been involved in, and we'll see what happened here. And again, the angles we get here, we're gonna have to take one more look at that to the drone camera and see was there contact between the 77? That's who we're watching, between him and the 4.
Shane Quinn right there at the bottom. Ooh, a little bit of a bottleneck there. You see Ellie Musgrave, Matt Hackathorn right there. But that's the lap before this, and right about here is where you're going to start seeing it go there. Right there, the contact between Shane Quinn and CJ Hawley. Mark Farrer has contact as well. And then Bryce Beatty and CJ Hawley, they just cannot stay away from each other.
Yeah, they are bound to connect together somewhere on the track. And again, another accordion effect. As you see, the 77 had to check up to not get into the car in front of him, and then fortunately the 4 back there of Shane Quinn, who by the way is now out of the race, he just didn't have enough time to check up.
Check up there. Wes Outland pit stops.
1 1/4 remaining here in the 4th annual Custom Fab Derby, and BJ Tidrick is on pit lane, the leader in the 72. Travis McKinney, a couple of other drivers also coming in for service that wasn't in the last go-around of caution flag pit stops. It's going to be 4 tires, fuel, fill up the tanks, and I'll be honest with you, Charles and Greg, unless we have a money stop, this could possibly be the, unless we have a late race caution is what I meant, this could possibly be the money stop for BJ Tidrick and a lot of other great contenders right now.
Tidrick on pit road into number 72 coming out, just letting the rest of the field go by. Thank you, Wesley, for that update. Almost getting down to the final third of this race. We're past halfway, 176 laps of 300 in the books. Ryan Gormley leading. Again, led laps in this race last year. Was not able to capitalize on the win. Chris Carroll, Isaiah Gill, Levi Allen, Hayden Plybon, your top 5 here, Charles. So once again, we talked about it as the lights go out on the pace car. Another caution and another round of new players up front.
Yeah, again, it's a trend here. We get a caution, we get new top 5. That's just the way it works. And that's how it's been all race long, is Gormley taking the green flag this time by. And there it is, green flag is out. It's Gormley, Carroll, Gill, Allen, and Plybon out front. Greg, if you'd asked me at the beginning, I would have told you Ellie Musgrave was going to win this race. And, then I would have told you somebody else. And then I would have told you somebody else after that. At this point, going on nearly lap 200, I really don't know. I say throw all the numbers in a bucket or a bag or something, shake them up and throw them out. The first one you grab could potentially be the winner here tonight.
And that's just the way this race has gone. We've seen several different drivers take turns up front in this race. Gormley now taking his second turn up front in the number 44. The Montana driver finished second in points last year to Seth Frazier in the 32. Then you find Canada's Chris Carroll. The Coast is the home of Isaiah Gill and Levi Allen, and then you find Meade, Washington's Hayden Plybon, rounding out your top 5. So drivers from all over the Northwest up here in the top 5 representing right now. We have drivers from all across the Northwest and parts of Canada and even down in California that attempted to make this race tonight. So this field and this field is always stout, but it just seems like this season has just been so much more strong than what we've seen in the past. So many new names popping up on the track. Problems for Plybon in the 57 as Gary Smith and Bart Ecker Jr. both able to get by the 57, and now Seth Frazier going to work as well.
Yeah, he is indeed. And, while we watch this battle, we keep our eye on social media, chat, stuff like that throughout the night. And I know you're probably already read this, and you're probably trying to ignore it. But Aunt Kathy had the question that she asked. She said, hey, Greg, she came up with a new idea today, starting a new Northwest Racers only dating site for you and Anderson.
No. Make sure you include Hector in there. Hector was named in there as well. You, Junior, and Caden.
Oh,
Junior's
yeah.
up there as well.
Cheesecake, the dessert. Cheesecake and champagne. Go in, Kathy.
I can get behind the cheesecake there, that's for sure.
Well, there you go. I am...
I don't know. I saw my boy Caden shooting a shot down there with a certain future truck driver for next year. Saw that on Facebook. Attaboy Caden. Ryan Gormley leading the way as the caution comes out here once again on lap 185.
The 48
it's McKinney and Tidrick. Ooh, a couple Yakima base drivers right there. Tidrick, of course, resides in the Tri-Cities, but those are two Yakima drivers. As you can see right there, McKinney has Tidrick's on board in the number 48 as we take a look.
And this will be interesting because if you recall earlier, the 48 spun the 77. He is not going to be credited with this one. As we're going to take a look at the 72 of BJ Tidrick. This actually started further up here between, it looks like him and the 27. And unfortunately, the 48 just a byproduct of it. As there's a 72 BJ Tidrick going to take it to the bottom of the track. And I say correct, this may be between him and somebody else. As we'll see right about here, he's going to get in there. Oh, and right there.
And he just gets into him as well. So, yeah. Two drivers who were having very strong runs. BJ Tidrick tapping on that one in the 72. So he will take the tail end. EOL in that one. A couple drivers on pit road.
Well, they go on pit road and we get the run.
Leslie's down there catching up with the crew. Let's take a look at the drone cam because all aerial coverage brought to you by All American Pools. And yep, you see it right there.
And that's what I couldn't see from the other camera angle we had, was what caused him to kind of shoot up the track there. And of course, he got loose. As Wesley will be back with us as he's down on pit road. But yeah, these cars are gonna get wicked loose there like that, Greg. The more we have, or more runs we have on a tire before they come in and get them. If I'm anyone right now, I figured we would see more drivers down getting tires.
And that begs the question, though, Charles, how many sets of tires do these guys have left? Have any of them gotten through all 3 tire sets on pit road? And now they are down to what you got for the rest of the race. Wesley Allen, our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, has an update.
So just checking in on the 48, Travis McKinney, he says that, he really doesn't think he has a lot of significant damages. If anything, just a little cosmetic that lipstick can't fix. 48, okay. Same can be said about the driver, BJ Tidrick. Disappointment. He says, I'm more damaged by my ego than my car. My car's not damaged. My ego is. I made a move. I shot down the apron, made a mistake, and got into a lot of innocent guys, and I'll take the tap out for it. So Tidge will get the penalty. 48 and 27, okay. They will continue, or 72 and 48 are okay. That will continue on as we will get ready for the restart, approaching the final century line in the virtual Custom Fab Derby from Five Flags Speedway.
And there it is, green flag back out. Greg, it's still Gormley out front. This is, he's led several laps here tonight. Could he be the one, now that we're closing in on that lap 200 mark, in about 14 laps, could he be the one that has come to life here as, those guys and gals that were leading up at the front early were when this track was a lot hotter in the 100 degrees. It's dropped to 95. Not a whole lot less, but this track is completely dark now as the sun's still setting, but the track is dark. The lights are on. Does his car handle better now? And has he got the winning car here under the lights?
Very well could be the case, as in the second half of the race, he has really turned it up, but he's under pressure now from Carroll in the 97, who was very strong right around lap 125 or so up there leading laps. Then you find Isaiah Gill. Gary Smith in the 79. How about him as well? He has worked his way up into 4th place now. The winner of the season opener, the generic 125 at USA International. And remember what he said. He said he was planning on just starting the race that night and just riding around in the back, but he wound up catching the invert, got the lead around lap 20, and proceeded to check out the rest of the way. So Gary Smith, that gave him a whole lot of confidence in that number 79, and now here he is up in the top 5 at the Northwest Snowball Derby as well.
Yeah, doing an amazing job so far. And, out of the 20-car field here, Greg, currently all but one are on the lead lap that are on track. That is 20th place. Mark Pryor is... technically he is on track, but 5 laps down. The only guys out of this race are Shane Quinn, Scott Mann, Dylan Huffines, and Travis Barnes. Everybody else is on a track and on the lead lap right now. That is almost unheard of when you go to short tracks like this, to see that many. Again, out of 20 on the track, 19 of those on the lead lap, and we have had some really long green flag runs, and these guys have just not lapped each other that much. They're staying, that close to the leader, and they're not letting them lap them. So regardless of where you're at on the track, as this is the battle for the lead, you go back here. This is back for 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. They're still putting on good battles.
Yeah, and that's another thing we've just come to see with the Northwest Tour. Battles all over the racetrack going on here in this one. We saw that on Friday as well, Charles, in the Snowflake 100 that the Development Series drivers ran. We saw battles all over the racetrack. Brock Denny and Dylan Huffines, of course, they joined me in the announcer's booth for that one. Denny up in the top 10 right now, going after his teammate here, Hayden Plybon. Denny, he's got the winner of that Snowflake 100 in his ear right now. Dan Lowther in the number 63 normally did not make it in, so he jumped up on the spotter stand to help out Brock Denny in the number 64. Who better to have up on the spotter stand than the guy who parked in the victory lane on a Friday night here?
Yeah, and that goes to, again, to show you just how stacked this field is when the winner on Friday night can't even make it into the feature, and we got them stacking up. We got a caution out, and the 77 again involved in a caution.
Jay Holly, and the rough night continues. First race of the season for the 77. Taking a look at a swag replay. There's Matt Hackathorn in the 84 behind him, then Levi Allen, who was up in the top 10 not too long ago before that pit stop. Plybon may have got the wall there behind him, and Hackathorn got into Holly, and Plybon had to check up to try to gather it back up, and Holly just got pinballed down into him.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Let's go take a look and see Plybon here and see what exactly happened to the 57. As again, that was independent of the 77. The 77 and the 84 got together, but the 57 Plybon, yep, right there, just gets the wall, tags the inside, and what luck can you possibly have on a racetrack where the 77 and the 84 make contact, and you just happen to be on the inside of the wall right where the 77 just comes in full steam and just nails you right in the door.
Tough break there for both those drivers. Wesley Outland down on pit road, checking in with the drivers involved.
Noah John's on pit lane. Frazier, Christian Holly, the 77, Hank Plybon. A lot of drivers, a little bit of cosmetic damage, not that serious, but I do want to catch up with the driver that we know very, very well on the Northwest iRacing Cup and Truck Series. By the way, remember the West Bay Napa Auto Parts Playoffs gets back to action with the trucks this Thursday night, the Cup Series next Monday night after about a 3-week hiatus, but Seth Frazier has enjoyed running on the iRacing Northwest Tour, except just a moment ago. Seth, how badly damaged is the 32?
I don't have any damage that I know of.
Good deal. So how's this race been so far? The longest race of the year here for the Custom Fab Derby here at Five Flags Speedway.
It's been fun so far. We'll see how the strategy plays out here at the end. I have one set of tires still in the pits. I just took my second set, so interesting to see how this one plays out.
All right, hey guys, remember, next Monday, the Northwest iRacing Cup Series, back to action on LSR TV and Sierra Spin Sports. Charles and Greg, he is locked in already to the Championship 4 at Phoenix in January 2021.
Thank you, Wesley. Seth Frazier turning his attention, though, to try to finish this off here in the Northwest Snowball Derby presented by Custom Fab. The defending series champion still looking for that snowball win. His best win in this race came back 2 years ago in Season 2 when he finished third to Jason Berg and Matt Kingsbury. No, the car has officially parked it behind the wall and loaded up. It's Noah Johns in the number 27. The lights on the pace car are off. We go back to green flag racing with Gormley still leading. Carroll and Gill, that hasn't changed. But then Bart Ecker Jr. got around Gary Smith just before that caution came out. He's trying to make his way back up as well.
Yeah, these guys are doing an amazing job right now, especially Gormley, Carroll, Gill. Those top three, they've been in the top of this field all race long. And, I keep pointing out, little by little, this track is getting darker and darker. And, I'm wondering here, so I want to take a look here a little further out. You see the lights on the front stretch. Look how dark it is in the corners. There's basically no lighting except for that one pole in turn 3. Here you come into turn 2. There's 3. Quite a bit darker as well. The darker it gets out here, Greg, the harder it's going to be for these drivers to see. I'm wondering if the guys here at Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola, Florida, maybe forgot to install some lights or pay the light bill, as it's a little dark.
Hey, Charles, and also another thing that I don't know if we've even hinted on as well is the fact that the infield is completely vacant. All you see is the pit war wagons around the midsection of pit lane from the top end to the beginning of pit road. And believe it or not, guys, that is actually the way they do it every year on Sunday morning, just like today for the real Snowball Derby, won by iRacing champion Phenom Ty Majeski. Finally, they have all of the haulers, whether, big motor trailers, tractor trailers, truck and trailers, disperse and exit the racetrack to allow a complete open infield for a little tailgating. But most of all, Greg and Charles, the opportunity to experience the race. And I think it's really cool that this iRacing revision of this track looks exactly the same, because if you ever go to Five Flags Speedway, primarily to the Snowball Derby, the 54th running next year, the infield's clear on race day Sunday. You can see all of the racing action from the front stretch to the back stretch.
Thank you, Wesley. And that's how we do it here in the Northwest as well with the half-mile tracks. Wenatchee, or not Wenatchee, Wenatchee's a quarter mile, Yakima, and Spokane, when Spokane was still open. When the big races were in town like that, the haulers went out in the parking lot so we could see the whole track. So that's not exactly an uncommon thing here in the world of super late model and late model racing. So that just is another thing that brings iRacing just that far above the rest of the competition when it comes to racing simulators, and what makes iRacing the top dog in the world of sim racing here in the world. But Gormley continues to lead the way. We're past lap 200, so we're inside 100 to go. Gormley, Carroll, Gill, Hector, Smith, still your top five, but it's beginning to heat up a little bit back there. Seth Frazier, Josh Washington, Nick Bellamy, Brock Denny, and others beginning to get a little spicy back here. It's Frazier to the inside of Day for 6th position.
Yeah, this battle is starting to heat up. There's battles all over the place. Look at this. Like you were talking about, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, all of them right here together. We're still watching that battle for the lead. But, we got to give these guys some due diligence, some love back here towards the back. And I believe we were looking in social media and found out Gary Smith running a throwback to, I believe he said his dad's paint job back in the day is why it looks like that. I still call it the Reese's Not Sorry car, as it resembles back in the day. I'm sure you know about it, Greg. It was Kevin Harvick's old Reese's car back when he was in the Busch series.
Yeah, you were talking about that a moment ago, how that car reminded you of the Reese's car. So Gary Smith, kind of a neat throwback there to his dad, and giving off the vibes of the Harvick tribute as well. Alifer for Seth Frazier to the inside of Hector, and much like we saw Hector do earlier, just leans over and just lets him go. So Seth Frazier, he has decided it's go time, because he is up to 4th, charging in the number 32. The Charlie Brown Christmas is coming to the front.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Me and Seth Frazier may have a little talk. Mike Wood out there, we shout him out all the time. An amazing paint job. Maybe a little bit too early for Christmas. I know that's all you can find. They've already played Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on CBS. I was getting calls, are you watching the Christmas special? I said, no, it's the 1st of December. I'm not watching a Christmas special yet. I'm still trying to lose like the 30 pounds I gained over Thanksgiving dinner. So we'll see. Definitely looks good in that 32 machine, though.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have gone back for 4 plates of mashed potatoes there, bud, and you wouldn't have that issue.
For the record, it was mac and cheese.
This is something, but guys, hey, listen, this is something that happens every year during the real Snowball Derby weekend, Charles. They actually have the opportunity, and even Speed 51, who I work for, also have competitions and money and prizes and a big plaque up for grabs as the best appearing car, the best holiday themed car. So I think it's really cool that you see Seth Frazier going from the, digging holes and taking stalls, Paul Burr car in the Northwest Cup Series and Truck Series, to having a holiday-themed car for this event here at the Custom Fab Derby.
Charlie Brown is looking for the lead right now over Ryan Gormley. Seth Frazier, he has done very well in this race in the past. Runs the Charlie Brown theme every year, but Mike Wood of Mike Wood Race Designs stepping up and giving him a more updated version of it for this year. And he's going to take that outside lane, which looks like is finally beginning to come in here in the final third of this race. Seth Frazier to the outside of Ryan Gormley, trying to get the lead here and looking for his 5th career victory in the Tour. First ever Snowball Derby. If he gets it done, he will off of turn number 4. Seth Frazier gets the lead here at the Snowball, leading the way on lap 221.
Yeah, he's again taking the Peanut Gang to the front. As we'll see, dragging that little blanket behind him. Was it Linus that drags the blanket? I do believe.
Yes, Linus.
It's that's gonna be him. He's out front. He ain't dragging the thing here behind us. He has taken off. So he has just decided, nope, I'm done, time to go, and checked out from the fields of Iowa. And so far, anyway, Ryan Gormley, though, we thought he had the car to beat. The question is, and this goes for anyone that's not in the lead right now, are any of these drivers saving anything here tonight? Because we know they can go on fuel, but, well, I say that, yeah, they should be able to go on fuel. How much are they saving, or are they saving it all if you're not in the lead right now to make a last-ditch effort run if we don't get a caution?
Oh, I'm watching the 82 of Hector, who sits in 5th right now. I bet you he's saving right now because he's all by himself, has no pressure out the back from Gary Smith, not putting pressure on anyone in front of him, just riding all by himself right now in the 82 in 5th position, just kind of hanging back there, letting the race come to him. We've talked about that in the past. So Hector right now showing a lot of patience. He's just behind this battle going on for 3rd. There he is in the number 82, just kind of hanging back, letting it come to him. He knows how to get it done here in these big races, but he has not won on the tour since season 1 back in February of 2018. It's been 3 seasons since Bart Hector Jr. visited Victory Lane in the Northwest Tour, hanging back there, waiting for that final set of tires to get going, and we're going to see the 82 try to come through the field if we catch one more caution. But right now, Seth Frazier, he's just hoping this thing stays green the rest of the way, because if this thing goes green the remaining distance, Seth Frazier's sitting very pretty right now.
Yeah, that he is. He's sitting really good. As again, it's just a matter of if he can hang on to it. So far, everyone that's been up there really has held on to it for a little bit, but they haven't been able to hold on to it for the full race, or for an extended period of time. Could he be the driver that does that here tonight?
Could be, because he has just had so much speed in the 32 since this restart and taking those tires. So Frazier looking very strong right now, and he's coming up on lap traffic though in the number 32. First up will be Bryce Beatty in the 07, which will be first one up. Another driver has fallen out of the race. It's Noah Johns as the caution comes out. We are under caution. That's not what Seth Frazier wanted to see. That's what everyone else wanted to see. Josh Washington and Ellie Musgrave involved. Oh, and they're still wrecking back there. Musgrave trying to get turned around, gets into the 43 of Mark Farrar. We take a look at the swag replay.
Yeah, and I'm curious what happened here. As you see, the 06 was involved in this, and the 23, they are nowhere near each other.
That started up there. I saw Smith and Washington, it looked like, get together off of turn number 4. That started on exit of turn number 4. You barely saw it there at the bottom of the screen. Ellie Musgrave, unfortunately, just nowhere to go as she was trying to get it wound up. Nick Bellamy also pulling in. There's CJ Hawley, Josh Washington involved. Here we go. We're going to take another look at this. This is going to tell the story right here. Ooh, Brock Denny getting into the 79 of Smith. Let's Jason Day, and then Bellamy runs in the back of Washington, who had checked up. McKinney piles in, and there's Musgrave.
Now, let's take one more look here, because we're trying to do our best to figure out who possibly could have to tap out here. And you're watching the 79 of Smith and the 64 of Brock Denny, and right here you may see a little contact right there. That gets the 79 into the wall. He comes back, hits the 64, hits the 52, collects the 06, the 20, and the 23, all getting involved in this one. So, this with about 8 cars involved, Greg, who is going to all tap out in this one? Really, the initial start of this, somewhere around the 79 and the 64 potentially.
Well, we've seen Gary Smith has tapped in the 79. Nick Bellamy also tapped in the 20 for not being able to check up in time on the number 20 before running into the back of the 06. Wesley Outland down on the pit road, our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, has caught up with another driver that was caught up in that. He's caught up with Brock Denny.
I have caught up with Brock Denny. Brock, what's your take of what happened and how badly damaged is the machine as we approach 70 laps here in the Custom Fat Derby?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I feel much damage in the car. I think that's not a worry right now. But as far as the incident, I mean, he was blocking me. He knew I was faster. He was, he knew I was faster, and I finally gave him a bumper a couple times, and he kept trying to block me, so I gave him a good one and just got him out of the way, and then honestly, he just turned right and tried to wreck me and failed to do so. So we'll see how it goes after the race with post-race penalties, but I think I'm fine.
Yeah, I believe we're in a little, more scramble there with the communication with you and your crew chief. But do you feel like we're going to start seeing this type of craziness as we approach the final 70 laps of this race tonight?
Oh yeah, I mean, strategy's been huge this race, and Seth Frazier is probably the top dog for strategy in the Northwest, so it's no surprise that he's out front. I still got one set of tires. We're sitting at 70 laps to go. I think I'm gonna be sitting pretty good here. I'm hoping for a caution with about 25 to go.
Got a feeling, gentlemen, business is about to pick up. That's the thoughts of Brock Denny.
Thank you, Wesley. And Brock Denny sitting in second right now behind Seth Frazier. And again, he mentioned, hey, has one more set of tires on pit road. So with that being said, he said he's hoping for a caution around 25 laps to go or so. That will be around 45 laps from now as the green flag falls back underway. Believe Bart Eckert Jr. did come down pit road that time in the 82, if I'm looking at this correctly, as did Ryan Gormley, as we got problems behind him. Another car going around in turn number 2. No caution as of yet. CJ Hawley went for a slide up in turn number 1, but he's able to get it going again. We stay green, much like what we saw with Scott Mann earlier. Off the racing surface, we're able to stay green.
Yeah, we're able to stay green, and these guys still going here. Brock Denny involved in that last caution. He is right now sitting in third place, and that is going to be somebody going around back there. And hard lick to the wall. And he is upside down. That will definitely bring out a caution. And he gets hit again. That, folks, is why you do not take your seatbelts off.
Yeah, you always keep your seatbelts on and keep your hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times as I fill out my job application for Six Flags here at Five Flags. Oh, Brock Denny hit the wall there off of turn number 4. Oh, it was Hector getting into the 07, and Hector with a slide as well. And Levi Allen caught up as well, and 07 of Beatty winds up on his lid.
Yeah, I want to go. Let's we always try to get the full story for you here, and I want to see this. Look at the contact with the 07 and the other who's involved with them. Look at the contact. It almost looks weird. Like, it doesn't look like, see, it was a very, very slight tap right there to send him around. Indeed, it was contact. I was wondering if it was, and right there you just see him upside down, and then let's just add a little insult to injury right there as he gets him one more time. But just unfortunate for Bryce Beatty. He has just not had the day that he wanted here tonight.
Unfortunately, they're able to get the car very quickly on pit road. No one has tapped yet on this one, so looks like we're going to stay here under a yellow for now. Wesley Allen, our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, an update on the 07.
Bryce Beatty joining me on pit lane. Bryce, what's your take of what happened, buddy? And obviously being upside down, you're out here for the Custom Fab Snowball Derby.
Yeah, definitely going to see if we can't get this thing fixed in time to get out there and at least pick up a position or two, but it was just very unfortunate. I was just on bald tires trying to stay up towards the top or towards the end of the race. I actually took tires a little bit too soon, but yeah, just a little racing incident.
So, from my viewpoint on pit lane, it looked like the car got fishtailed between the exit of the corner of 3 and 4, and then we saw the smoke vapor, and then as you exited turn 4, you pretty much bottlenecked the traffic behind you, and then you got tagged and got hit in the wall and went upside down. What's your take of this whole thing that's happened? Do you think we're going to start seeing these crazy races, this rough driving as we approach the end of this races again? Nobody's took the tap out saying, hey, this was me.
Yeah, no, it's going to get a lot worse when it comes down to, 30 to go, 20 to go, 10 to go. I mean, the lower it goes down, the more racing you're going to see like that. Just like, I was up there, I was just going to try to race really hard to stay up, in the top 5. And it just a little bit of contact with the 44, got a little bit loose, and then I saw him coming, and he just tagged me really good in the butt.
Lights off the pace car. Bryce Beaton got away for the damage clock. Let him come back out to try to salvage in some way, Charles, a finish, the 4th running of the Custom Fab Snowball Derby here at Five Flags Speedway.
Thank you, Wesley. A little Ford Mustang pulls down onto pit road. Green flag back in the air, and Seth Frazier leading the way. But now we start to wonder if these drivers who are now on a little bit fresher tires than Frazier can get up there, including the guy right behind him, Chris Carroll. He's on a little bit fresher tires. Denny on some older tires worth about 80 laps or so on him. He's going to get moved there by Ryan Gormley in the 44. New leader to the inside. Chris Carroll going to take the lead back away from Seth Frazier in the number 32. Here we go. Things are heating up as Chris Carroll takes the lead in the Northwest Snowball Derby. Bart Hector Jr. trying to charge to the bottom here. And it sounded, Charles, like in that interview, Beatty holds no ill will towards anybody involved in that, and he considers that to just be a racing deal.
Yeah, Jimmy, and yeah, it definitely does. And one thing I want to talk, you mentioned there just now that Frazier went up to the high side there, and it makes me wonder, did he let him by, or did those tires just, can he not hold it to the bottom like he wants to? It looks like here he's trying to hold it to the bottom. It's just sliding up the track a little bit. So, with Seth Frazier being and knowing him as well as we do, you really don't know if the car's just not handling and those tires are sliding up, or if he's opting to, just slide up and let him by and try to save something for later and not tear up his car. You really never know with him. He's definitely a good player of his cards. He doesn't let you know what he has.
Yeah, he likes to wait and not tip his hat until the very end of the race. But although, with the fact that he's getting passed right now by a bunch of drivers who have been pitted, I'm wondering if those tires are shot on the number 32. Ooh, Denny, he's still struggling right now in the number 64. By the way, we are guaranteed a first-time winner of this event because the winner of the first 2 Northwest Snowball Derbies, Jason Berg, not in the field tonight. Shane Quinn in the number 4, last year's winner, out of the race. So we are guaranteed to have our 3rd winner of this event in 4 races. Now it's just a matter of who is that going to be.
Yeah, that's the question that everybody is wondering. Whether they're on Facebook, YouTube, wherever they may be, they're wondering who is going to be the race winner. And to be honest, nobody really knows. We don't know. Nobody in the race knows, as it could literally be anybody here tonight. There's been so many people that have fast cars that have a good shot here tonight.
Yeah, this has just been such an amazing race to watch unfold because it seems like every 20 laps, someone new enters the fray, enters the chat, if you will, and says, hey, I want to take a shot at this. I want my turn up front in the Northwest Snowball Derby presented by Custom Fab. And Isaiah Gill, he's another one. He hasn't led a lap yet tonight in the number 14, but he's been strong all night long in that number 14. He's trying to get up there now on Hector to get up onto the podium, and we've seen the number 14 of Isaiah Gill this season, Charles, have a lot of speed in that car, and he was another one we thought on Friday night was going to have a good shot in the Snowflake 100, and unfortunately his day ended kind of like what we saw out of Bryce Beatty here a couple of laps ago with the Nesquik number 14 that he was driving that night on its lid on the front stretch.
Yeah, just not the way you want to end, upside down. Good news is it doesn't actually hurt you, but we got a caution now once again. And looks like possibly the 77 again involved in the caution as we go back and take a swag replay look at it and see what happened. The 06 and the 77 next to each other. And of course, was this the cause of it? We'll find out here momentarily. The 6 dives it in, and contact was made between the 06 and the 77 of Christian Hawley there.
Yeah, so DJ Holly in the 77 just call it a bad night at the office for the number 77. Josh Washington has tapped in the 06, so he will go to the back in this one and will have to try to charge his way up to the front. Looks like don't have any takers on pit road this time. So Wesley, we'll see if you can catch up as Travis McKinney pulls in. Wesley, we'll see if you can catch up with some of these crews and see if anyone besides, say, Brock Denny and company have any tires left, or if everyone is just made their bed and it's time to go from here, because 14 cars on the lead lap and just over 50 laps to go. It's going to be go time here for these guys once this green flag falls. So we'll see if Wesley can catch up with some of these crews. Brock Denny is on pit road getting that final set of tires, so wonder now if Denny was the last one to take tires or if anyone has anything left.
I believe he's trying to take advantage of this money stop less than 50 laps to go, or coming up on 50 laps, 53 to be exact here in the Custom Fab Derby. It's going to be a 4-tire stop for Brock Denny. Everyone else also on the pit lane with damage from earlier wrecks. And what do you know, as things cycle back around, put Chris Carroll back in front. Ryan Gormley in that number 2 position in the 44. And you know what that car reminds me of, guys? Let's go back to the 29. Show that car real quick in our production. Just that car itself. You know what that car reminds me a lot of, Greg? It reminds me of the 2019 winner of the Snowball Derby, the man in second, the 06. The driver Gormley, the driver that's in second, Ryan Gormley. It reminds me a lot of the Platinum number 26 of Travis Braden, who won the Derby last year. Look at the design on that car.
It does. It does give off vibes of that car that Travis Braden won the Snowball Derby in last year. And that's what I love about the Northwest Super Late Model series is these guys, they take after some of the big cars that they've seen at the Snowball and they kind of put their own twist on it. And Ryan Gormley, with the vibes of the number 26, but of course with his own sponsors. You see Pyrotech on the back. They're one of our proud sponsors here in the Northwest Tour. They provide helmets to the top 2 in points here.
Carroll's car reminds me a lot of Caden Lapsevich as well, Greg, as we get ready for a restart. That man out in front, the 97, reminds me of the 16 from the Derby this year, Caden Lapsevich, who also runs a lot of iRacing.
He's leading the way right now in that number 97. Trying to pull away from Gormley, who's opened it up over Hector as well. So these guys beginning to stretch it out. They know it's time to go, but I'm going to keep my eye on that number 64 back there, Brock Denny, the other Montana driver in the field, because I want to see if it's on those fresh tires. There he is trying to get around Ellie Musgrave in the number 23 right now to move back into the top 10. Wonder if those fresh tires have just enough better wear on them and the field in front of him to be able to charge through this field.
Yeah, you're looking at 1 lap, make it 2 versus 20 laps on some of these tires, roughly 1920. So that's a huge amount. The question is, are you going to be able to get by these guys, or in this case, girls? As right now, he's trying to get by Ellie Musgrave, and he's going to get by. It took him a lot longer than I'm sure he wanted to. He does get by, though, and he is on his way to the front. He's still got, of course, 9 more drivers to get by, as his next victim looks to be the 79 of Gary Smith, and it seems a little deja vu all over again.
Denny trying to get up there to Gary Smith. Remember the caution about 30 laps ago between these two. Gary Smith did tap on it in the number 79. Denny to the inside, and he's going to make the pass. So Brock Denny with the freshest tires on the track right now, and he's just trying to make his way through the field. You might think about 3 wide here almost, but Jason Day able to clear Frazier before he can. But Brock Denny is definitely charging here in the number 64. Going to make the pass. Oh, he got turned into the wall.
And upside down and over he goes, and that is going to come to a halt. That's going to ruin his night as we go back and take a look. We're going to go straight to the blimp view here, and you see him trying to make this pass work. And he gets the inside. They are almost 3 wide. Man, this is just not working out for him well.
It just... Take a look, right there's the contact. Frazier involved as well. And he goes upside down for a ride, and suddenly what we were just talking about, Brock Denny having the best tires on the field, the freshest tires, and suddenly now it's all for naught.
And this is gonna really make these people wonder if you're up at the front of this field right now. If you're Chris Carroll, Gormley, Hector, Gill, Heckler, these guys that are up at the front of the race, they're gonna make you wonder, is taking fresh tires, if you have them, worth it? As Brock Denny had to fight through that field, and it's getting tangled up with other drivers trying to work his way back through the field. Are fresh tires worth it if you have to go through the entire field here now?
We'll have to see. Wesley Allen is caught up once again with Brock Denny.
Brock Denny, again, as Charles reiterated on, in the back, minding through the field, trying to work your way up to the front to win this 4th annual Custom Fab Derby. What's your take of what happened, and are you done for the night?
Well, I don't know if we're done. I'm still out here. We're gonna see how she handles under green. It doesn't feel too bad. I'm sure I got some damage. Took a nice roll, but yeah, I mean, those guys knew I was on new tires. I understand they're not going to give up the spots, but I think 52 was clear of the 32 there, and he just decided to stay like we were 3 wide, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I was racing him as we were 2 wide. He was racing as we were 3 wide. Just got together, and I got the bad end of that.
As of thoughts of Denny. Yeah, go ahead, Greg. You
Brock, real quick before we go green, you're supposed to tell Tucker to roll over, not your car.
Dude, Tucker was barking. I don't know what he's doing. I told him if he got to go to the bathroom, he better go, because this is going to be a long race, and I don't even know where he's at now.
He probably saw you go for a ride and said, well, I'm going to go ahead and just go hide for the rest of the night.
Mate, he probably went to bed.
Brock, at least in high spirits. We'll see what happens with him along the way. We're getting ready back for the restart. Back to the tower. Charles Head and Charles Wooten and Greg Rentz for the finish.
Lights on the pace car are off. Pace car is on pit road. Chris Carroll on the loud pedal. And we're back underway here. Less than 50 to go. Keep your eyes on that 82 of Hector and the 44 of Gormley. Came down about 2 cautions ago for tires. Carroll on the same tires with them as well. So the top 3 right now on the same tire strategy. Now it's just a matter of who can get it done. Hector with the most experience in this. Gormley finished 2nd in points last year. Led laps in this race last year. Carroll, a rookie, looking for his first win, but his teammate Gary Smith already has a win, and now Carroll trying to show up as well. We have 3 very different stories coming up here in the front late in the race.
Yeah, we do. And you look here, we're looking, the top 10 had 25 to 27 laps on tires. That leaves the new fresh tires. That's gonna be Travis McKinney and I stand corrected, Seth Frazier. 3 laps compared to 30 basically for the field in front of him. He's got the same scenario that we just saw more than just about 5 laps ago play out. The question is, can Seth Frazier get through this field now and get through it cleanly? That's the problem that obviously Brock Denny had to face. He was working his way through and wanted to get through these guys a little cleaner than he did. It just didn't happen. They were battling him like they were on the same stint of tires, and they were not. Can Seth Frazier do it and successfully complete it, as we're coming up on 40 to go?
So Seth Frazier on those fresh tires. Once again, we saw what Frazier was able to do on fresh tires a few laps ago, and here he is doing it again. So he did have 1 more set left. Did he take him at the right time? 45 laps to go. He's up in 7th right now as he gets past Gary Smith. If this thing stays green the rest of the way, does he have enough time to get up there? The way we saw him slice and dice earlier, I think it's going to be no problem for Seth Frazier to get up there.
Yeah, I don't think he's got a problem in the world trying to get by these drivers. He's going to try to get by BJ Tidrick here. I don't think BJ's going to hold him up too much. He knows he's faster. You give Seth Frazier fresh tires. I want to point this out. We watch him all the time. Again, he's locked into the Northwest Cup Series that is off tomorrow. They come back the week after next. Or 2 weeks basically we come back, but he's locked in. He's fast anyway. You give him fresh tires when everyone else is on old tires, he's gonna be a rocket ship out there. Again, it's just a matter of getting by quick. And right now though, Chris Carroll does have the lead, and he has that lead by about 0.6 over a second of Gormley, who's been doing an amazing job here tonight as well. The real question is, can these guys hold off that charging of the number 32? As it looks like Frazier may have hit a bit of a standstill.
And Frazier just trying to get up there. Maybe he's saving just a little bit here and just saying, you know what, I've got the best tires on the track. I'm just going to be patient with here and not push my luck, as he's going after Hackathorn right now for 5th position. It's a battle for 3rd right now between Hector and Gill, right behind Gormley. Gormley's up there as well in the number 44, trying to hold off Hector and Gill, but Isaiah taking a peek to the bottom of Hector, who's trying that higher line a little bit there through 3 and 4. You saw the same thing out of him in 1 and 2 the lap before. Now Gormley goes up there with the higher arc in the turn number 1, and then Hector with a little bit of a higher exit as Frazier is able to get past Hackathorn and charge his way up there. Gill taking a peek to the bottom now of Hector, and remember, we've seen it a couple of times out of Hector earlier in the day. If a car was faster than him, he just let him go, but I think that's out the window now. There's 32 laps to go in the Snowball Derby. He's going for it now at this point.
Yeah, 30, about coming up on 30 laps to go. That'll be about 15 minutes left of racing if we stay green. So it'd be very interesting. Again, this is all a huge battle there. You see, there's your leader. You can't see him. Okay, there's your leader in turn 3 and 4. You got 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And keep in mind, 5th place, that's the 32. He has run down this little group here. And you thought the battle for a 3rd was on? Well, it's really on now, as Seth Frazier is on the move right now. He is just picking them up and putting them down as he's going to move to the inside. He'll get by the 14 of Isaiah Gill probably in this corner. And right there, he's not officially cleared. Now he is. He moves on to a 3rd place of Bart Hector Jr.
Hey, Trails, and I'll tell you something else as well, guys. I just come off the radio communication with Seth Frazier and BJ Tidrick. They are literally trying to work with each other to get back to the front. Basically, it's Maverick and Goose, Top Gun virtual style here in the Custom Fab Derby. Watch the 32 and keep an eye on the 72 as well, Greg.
Frazier to the inside of Hector. Two very, very good friends battling out for 3rd right now. Final spot on the podium, and Frazier has to check up. Something happened to Frazier there off of turn number 2, and Isaiah Gill is able to capitalize. And it looks like Frazier might have a little bit of damage now on the left front.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of damage, and that was similar. He got down below the apron and got it loose as he was trying to make a pass. He simply got too low and wiggled it there just a little bit, just enough to allow the 14 of Isaiah Gill to be back by him. That right there, I don't know if it's going to cost Seth Frazier the win. It definitely cost him a spot. And these guys are so bunched up together. He had the advantage earlier when he was trying to get through, 10th, 11th, 12th. Those spots back there, they were spread out a little bit more. These guys are just as fast cars here. Now he's really going to have to work it, and he's got to make sure that he gets by them without hitting them and spinning them out, or he'll be credited with the EOL. Have to go to the back with a tap, but he does get back by the 14 as the caution comes out. And it's Brock
Ellie Musgrave and Brock Denny. Musgrave and Denny get together. Look at the swag replay. A lot of damage to both cars already. Josh Washington up there as well. Remember, Washington and Denny finished 2nd and 3rd at Oxford last week, and Denny gets the wall, and before he can get it gathered back up, all of a sudden, Ellie Musgrave is there.
And a little, we can take a look here. You'll see exactly what happened. And potentially the 64 not too happy with the 23, or just felt like gassing the car a little bit. We'll see here in a second. As you see right here, he comes out of the corner and just smacks the wall. Ellie taps him right there and hits him again, and they bump into the corner. And just a little bump there, like, get out of my way, I gotta get going again.
Wesley Allen, our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, has caught up with Ellie Musgrave.
I have. I've caught up with Ellie Musgrave, given her thoughts on what happened with Brock Denny. Brock's already had problems several times in this custom fab derby. Ellie, what's your take of getting into him, and how badly is your car number 23?
It's not too bad. Just trying to stay out of trouble tonight.
A long race, isn't it? How do you stay hydrated and being able to keep from getting dehydrated and enjoying this virtual run with these guys?
It's a great race. It's a long one, but I've had a lot of fun tonight.
All right, we'll keep an eye on Ellie Musgrave. Right now, she's got a good, decent run right now with the top 15, but she did get involved in that accident with the 64 Brock Denny. So, Ellie, am I in closing? Are you going to say I take the tap out? Is it you that's going to take the blame for it?
Yes, I did tap out.
All right, good deal. So there's Ellie Musgrave, the only female that I can think of right now that competes on the Northwest. There you go. Sorry about that. The only driver I know that works on that competes on the Northwest iRacing Tour, presented by Joe's Racing Products. My producer was trying to send me somewhere else, but back to you guys in the booth.
Wesley, you gotta hit the button and hold it down there, bud.
Hey,
this one.
It's a long week, all right?
Try not to break a chair. Chris Carroll leading the way, Ryan Gormley in second, and I'm pretty sure, Ryan Gormley came down pit road in the 44. That moves Hector to second. Gormley had one more set of tires left in the 44, so he came down pit road. I'm pretty sure I just saw a chair come flying towards me here in Spokane, Washington, all the way from Pensacola, Florida. Have to see if it reaches us. If so, hey, Cody, you're next.
And there we go. No chairs are coming this way.
It was the CRN producers, not the LSR TV producer. Charles, you're not at fault for this.
Well, there you go. You got to throw around them big fancy words like producer. I assume it's me. I like moving people, so we never know with me. But Chris Carroll is out front leading this race. Bart Hector behind him. Greg, if you took fresh tires and you're coming through this field, which is Gormley back in 13th place, I hate to say it, he's fast, but I think that may have sealed his fate. I don't think with 20 laps to go coming up next time by, I just don't think there's time for him to get through this field.
Yeah, he's going to need help of a couple cautions, and it's going to have to involve lead lap cars. I think it was too late there for Gormley in the number 44. He's trying to get around Mark Farr. Let's talk about that 43 car. At one point was, I believe, 4 laps down in that number 43 car. Here he is on the lead lap up here in 12th or 11th position right now.
Yeah,
trying to hold on. So nice recovery for the 43.
Yeah, car looks like it was used as a battering ram by the police trying to get in the door, but that doesn't matter as long as it's still running. He's obviously not having any cooling issues from the front of that car. But we're still watching Seth Frazier. He's up to 4th place right now and trying to work his way. I think Seth has a good run. I think he'll get a podium out of this if he can get by the 14 and potentially maybe get by the 82 of Bart Hector Jr. as well. I don't know now that these tires have started to kind of cycle themselves. They got 29 laps on them. They've had a heat cycle on them with the caution. I just don't know if Seth Frazier's tires are good enough to get by. I think the new factor has worn off, as we all know all about that with the Christmas coming up. That new factor wears off after a while if your new toys.
Yeah, and that's something we know all too much about here with this time of year. The new factor, once it wears off about 3-4 hours after kids open them, and they're like, okay, I'm ready for the next one. Like, what, dude, no. Anyway, going back to what we see this a lot also with the tire situation when the fresh tires eventually, because of the heat cycle, they cool off under caution and eventually they hit the plateau that we talk about. We see it more often than not in the Cup cars. We normally don't see this problem in the super late models, but that comes with the tire strategy. Remember, usually this series, only the 4 tires you have on the car, no tire changes allowed. But because it was a 300 lap race, they agreed to have 3 sets of tires on pit road. And unfortunately, that was what brings in the tire wear strategy for some of these guys, and you're seeing this situation where strategy can kind of vary depending on what happens. As Gil and Hector have a little tiny bit of contact off of turn number 4 there, and Chris Carroll loves seeing that because he's got 12 laps to go and he's opened it up 0.8 of a second.
Yeah, he is definitely checked out right now because of all this contact. And, you know, we're going to keep tabs back there on Gormley, who is in 11th place with 10 laps on his tires. Now, 12 laps on his tires, actually. He's still back in 11th place. You know, good call, bad timing on that. Had he done that when Seth Frazier did, I think he'd be sitting pretty. But unfortunately, it was just a good call at a bad time.
And yeah, it was a good call, and at the time it was a good call, good time, but the problem is the way it has gone since then. He just kind of got a bad draw of the next caution, which is what cost him. And Chris Carroll's loving seeing this now because there's 9 laps to go for the Canadian Chris Carroll, trying to join his teammate Gary Smith as the first time winners this season, along with Nick Bellamy and KC Garber. Unbelievable. Of the 4 races we've completed thus far,
and we got a
3
car
first time
on the track.
winners.
That's the 43 stopped at the end of pit road.
But he's off the racing surface. We're able to stay green. Not sure what happened to Farr there.
I'm wondering that myself, but he definitely just stops it down. He didn't stop it on the track to bring out a caution. He just stopped it down on the entrance to pit road and then let everyone go and said, okay, I'll go again. So, you know, either something happened or he doesn't like finishing the race on the lead lap. I'm not real sure. But I imagine it's probably not the second one. But again, we won't know unless we have a chance to talk to him later. Or maybe that our famous Joe's pit reporter can go down there and take a word with him. But he's just stopped it on the track. But we keep going as the battle for second is on, and also the battle for 4th place is on.
Yeah, Hackathorn not letting Frazier get away just yet. Hackathorn wants a top 5, and he wants to gain as many spots as he can. It's been a couple years since Hackathorn has been in victory lane here at the Northwest Tour. 1 career win for him. That came back at New Hampshire back in the fall of 2018, getting right up on Seth Frazier. 4 wins on his career for Frazier and the championship. He is the defending champion of the series. Second all-time in wins now, in a tie with Caden Anderson for second all-time in wins. Series leader Jason Berg not in the field tonight with 12, but we may be about 2 laps away from another first-time winner being added to that list because Chris Carroll has 1 mile to go.
And just 1 mile to go, 2 laps. Of course, we all know what's coming up here next time. Bye for the 97. Oh, never mind. Caution is out.
Oh, this is going to change everything.
And that is
Seth Frazier on pit road.
And
that is Seth Frazier in the 32, who was in 4th place.
Take a look and see what happened. That's Frazier not having it the way he wanted to go in this. That's, oh, just a shot.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. And he is not happy. I can tell you that much.
I want to take another look at this here, Greg. As let's go to the blunt view and watch the 32. It looks like the 32 checks way up here, slows down or something. And then I believe we'll see who it is that gets into the back of him.
Hackathorn, guys.
So Hackathorn makes the pass.
No, it's not Hackathorn. My apologies.
Something happened. Something happened to Seth Frazier as he was just extremely slowed down there. So we'll take a look here. Let's go to his cockpit camera and watch his attack there. You see about 5,000 or so. He's getting it up there, 6,000, 7,000. He gets into the corner. There goes the 84. And right there, you can hear the car. It's not running right.
You heard it right there. Something happened. Wesley Allen has caught up with the driver of the number 32.
Just 2 words, Seth. What happened to the 32? What happened?
Ran out of fuel.
Ran out of fuel. Ran out of fuel. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. And then you got tagged for the back by Christian Holly. So, stretching the fuel gamble. Are you, per se, are you out of the race now?
I'll probably make it out to a lap or 2, but that definitely cost me a good, decent finish.
And tough break there for Seth Frazier again, but there is a ray of hope, guys, as again, he is one of those drivers that is in West Napa Auto Parts Championship 4 for the Cup Series when they return to action at Phoenix. Coming up for the championship finale in January. There's still got a couple of races that remain, but there's some light at the end of the tunnel for that. Guys, he ran out of fuel.
And this brings up a question. What is the fuel situation for everybody else here in the field? Because now it's happened to one car. Now you got to wonder what it is for everybody else. One attempt at a green-white checkered here in this race. So when we go green, the next flag will end the race, be it the caution or the checkered. So that is my question to you, Charles. As the lights are out, I believe on the pace car will be going for the finish. Do these guys have enough fuel left to make it, or are we going to see another one run out?
Guys, I just got done talking to Chris Carroll's crew chief. They said they don't know if they can go the distance or not. They're going to have to stretch it. They're going to keep their fingers crossed.
We go, green flag.
Hey, Greg, one thing that these guys may not have accounted for, they don't happen too often, caution laps do not count. So, that very well could play a factor. We know on the dirt side of things, under caution laps that don't count, as we'll get to that here in a second, because there is
one to go.
White flag is out, but it doesn't matter now anyway. We'll see if he can make it. We'll talk about that here in a second, but right now it is Chris Carroll out front, and it looks like he is going to make it to the end.
He's going to do it. Chris Carroll makes it last and picks up the win in the Northwest Snowball Derby presented by Custom Fab. Hector Jr. gets his best finish of the season in second place, his third podium in 5 races here for the number 82. And how about Isaiah Gill, a career best finish for the young man out of the coast? Big win for him, but how about it? Our 4th first-time series winner on the tour. It's Chris Carroll getting it done. And what better place to win your first career Northwest Tour race than the biggest of the year, the Custom Fab Northwest Snowball Derby. And you can see he's excited. He has just enough fuel left to win the race and get a little celebrating done.
Yeah, he gets a little celebrating, and he comes in to take his picture there. What a race there for Chris Carroll, putting it in victory lane. And we'll see if he goes to actual victory lane, if he has enough fuel to do it here in just a little bit. But, Greg, before we talk to the top 3, of course, there is one more piece of business we have to take care of.
Absolutely. We have to thank our great sponsors here on LSR TV. We're going to key up our top 3 after we go through the unofficial race results presented by SawBlade.com. Chris Carroll with the victory here tonight in the Northwest Snowball Derby. Bart Hector Jr. in second. Isaiah Gill, his career best finish here in the Northwest Tour, comes home in third with Matt Hackathorn. And how about it? BJ Tidrick. We talked about it being Maverick and Goose. It doesn't work out for Frazier, but Tidrick able to rally for a 5. CJ Holly had a very, very rough day at the office, but it pays off with a 6th place finish here in the number 77. Travis McKinney, Gary Smith, Brock Denny able to recover for a top 10, and Ryan Gormley. And again, Charles, you talked about it, may have just waited too long for that last set of tires. He winds up 10th.
Yeah, 10th place, still a good run. Ellie Musgrave, after that last big wreck, finishes in 11th place on the lead lap. The other drivers on the lead lap going to be Seth Frazier, of course, because caution laps do not count. Josh Washington in 13th Mark, I believe we're going to Farrar. Well, we'll have to get a correct pronunciation on that one. Forrest in 14th, followed by Jason Day, Bryce Beatty, Levi Allen, Hayden Blyvon, Noah Johns, Scott Main going to be your 20th spot, and of course rounding out the field going to be Nick Bellamy, Shane Quinn, Dylan Huffines, and Travis Barnes, all 301 laps down in this race. That'll do it for your unofficial race results, and we stress unofficial because of course, the Secret Service here of the Northwest Tour are going to go and review all of this and see what stands, what doesn't, if there's any changes to be made. To Greg, I think it's about time we step aside, thank those sponsors, and we come back. It's time to talk to those top three.
Welcome back to the LSR TV post-race show here from Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola, Florida, where Chris Carroll picks up the win in the Custom Fab Northwest Snowball Derby. We've got our top three lined up, but before we go, it's been a long day for our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter, Wesley Allen, so we're going to let him go ahead and call it a night early. But Wesley, a great race here tonight. Before you go, what were your final thoughts on this race?
Man, a fun race. It had a lot of scenarios, a lot of stories, and when it was all said and done, we've seen a driver in Chris Carroll be able to, if it was a fuel strategy gamble, play those cards right and make it stick to be the winner of the 4th annual Custom Fabs Derby here. Always enjoy being the Joe's Racing Products pit reporter. Thank you to Joe Constance of Joe's Racing Products. Thanks again to BJ Tidrick, Seth Frazier of the series, Charles, Greg, everybody. It's been a long week. It's been a fun week, virtual and reality. Now it's time to kind of get a good night's rest, get back on the plane, fly back home, and as soon as the plane lands, I'll be right back with Charles calling the Ezra Pro Series tomorrow night. So God bless you all. Thank you so much, and let's talk to the winners of the show, Chris Carroll and Bart Hector Jr.
Yeah, thank you very much, Wesley, and good luck on the call tomorrow and the Ezra Pro Series. Remember, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell, and you'll be notified when that race goes live. We have not yet caught up with Isaiah Gill, who's having some connection issues right now with his communications with us here in the tower. So while we wait for him, we are going to catch up with our second place driver. Charles Wooten has caught up with Bart Hector Jr.
I have indeed. Bart Hector Jr., that number 82 machine, you put it in second place here tonight. A good run for you. You know, I got to ask those tough questions. What do you think you needed to get by Chris Carroll here tonight to get that win here for the Northwest Tour event?
Honestly, Chris was just good, man. There's nothing I think I could have done to even beat him. He was just good. He was consistent. I was trying everything I could, man. So
Well, an outstanding run overall. This track, a good track to run. It's a fun track. 300 laps. So last week, 150 at, hell, if I can have a brain fart, but either way. 150 laps there at Oxford Plains. There we go. 300 tonight, double the distance. How tiring is it to go around this track for 300 laps, especially with caution laps not counting?
But like halfway, I had to take my shirt off, man, because I was getting hot. It's a long race, so I'm glad it's over, though. 2 hours plus.
Now, there again, we've been live almost 3 hours, 2 hours and 53 minutes. Of course, a little bit of that was for a pre-show, but an amazing race for you here. You get second place after a long, grueling 300 laps. Any sponsors on the car you need to thank for making it as fast as it is here tonight?
Always thank Andy Fuller for building this computer, and a big thanks to my crew chief guy from Hermiston, Oregon, Chris Marlowe. He was in charge of the tires and the fuel and everything. I let him make the calls, and I was able to put it here second place after running out of fuel here last year with 5 to go. So,
a familiar story for Seth Bridger running out of fuel, but you get second place. Congratulations on that. And I believe, Greg, you have caught up with Chris Carroll, our race winner.
Thanks, Cody.
And I'm caught up now with Chris Carroll. And Chris, 5th start of the year. You've had speed all year long, but man, what better place to pick up your first win in Northwest Tour competition than the biggest race of the year? Chris Carroll, you have won the Northwest Snowball Derby.
Yeah, Rance, it's, man, that is a long, grueling event, and what makes it so awesome is the show and all the competition that is so good in this series. You know, you got guys like Bart, and you got guys like Gormley, and you got guys like Caden Anderson and all the boys out there that are fast, and anytime you can come away with a win against guys like that, you did something right.
Well, Chris, you led 113 laps here tonight, the most of any driver, the only driver to reach triple digits in that category. However, you had to do it in separate stints up front because of the pit strategy. Now, we normally see drivers with 4 tires and that's it. Tire strategy is mainly just, hey, save your tires as much as you can. This one, you had to try and pick your choose when you were going to make your pit stop. So what was your strategy going in? Were you just kind of trying to pit when the leaders pit, or did you have it set in stone? You know, okay, if there's a caution at this point, I'm pitting. If there's a caution at this point, I'm pitting. Or was it kind of just go with the flow and just see what happens?
Well, with a long race like that, you have to feel what's happening out there. You have to feel the field out and when the cautions are happening. And I mean, I had a plan, but I mean, like Mike Tyson said, everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face. So I had to audible a couple of times, and I knew. Well, I felt like it was a race between me and Gormley there, and I had to find a way to beat him to the pits with track position. So I think that's what it came down to. And I think Bart, when he got around in there, I knew Bart's fast, so I knew I had to put my laps together after that.
Well, Chris, from the 300 laps of half-mile racing on the oval, now we head to something entirely different. It's our only road course visit of the season coming up here next on LSR TV for the Northwest Tour. Canadian Tire and Lime Rock are the 2 road courses that we're hitting. What are you expecting from the driver's seat? We're heading to Canadian Tire and Lime Rock, 2 entirely different racetracks. What are you expecting from this race coming up here as opposed to what we normally do with the oval, and how are you going to have to prepare for this differently?
Well, road courses are completely different than what we do. I mean, you are all over the wheel here, and road courses, I'm not the biggest road guy in the world, so I mean, I'm going to try and keep it on the track and not kill anybody. But I mean, these guys are also good. I don't have any qualms. I don't think they'll have any problems figuring out those road courses and going fast. So it's going to be a challenge, a bigger challenge than even the road or against the guys in the oval here. So it's going to be fun. It's a good switch, and it's going to test everyone's skill.
Chris Carroll, you got a second earlier this season. I believe that came back at Iowa. Now you get a big win at Five Flags Speedway down here in Pensacola, Florida. A chance to thank your sponsors.
I have to thank everybody at A51 Pro. Really, really proud to represent A51 tonight. Those guys, there's about 300 or 400 people in that organization, so I'm really proud to represent them. And I need a special thank you out to Bradley Yo, who spotted for me tonight and worked out some fuel strategy, and we gave him a run. So really proud to take this home. The snowball in Canada is pretty cool. So thank you guys for putting on the event and making it so big and making it cool. So we really appreciate that. Giving us somewhere to race.
Chris Carroll, your race winner here at the Custom Fab Northwest Snowball Derby. Congratulations.
Thanks, sir. Thanks to Bart for running me so clean at the end there, too. I appreciate it, bud.
Of course.
Well, Charles, unfortunately, we are not going to be able to catch up with Isaiah Gill as the technical issues continue for the driver to number 14. But how about what that young man was able to pull off here tonight? Going through the field early after being involved in the very first caution to rally through the field and be up in the top 5 for pretty much the entire second half of the race. Great effort there by Isaiah Gill.
Yep, so for the mic's not muted, there we go. Good run for him. Definitely an amazing run for him to finish in the third. Ups and downs here tonight. He does rally back to a podium finish. Definitely a shame we don't get to talk to him, but overall, I think it was a great race in general. We had some really, really good racing. 300 laps. I didn't get a tally on cautions, hopefully under 15, so I don't get a chair thrown at me later. But regardless,
are you ready?
of the
I've got it right here.
How many we
got
have?
it right here. Survey says 15 exactly.
Well, that stinks. I'll go get ready for a chair. 15 cautions. It didn't seem like it. We had really good racing and some long green flag runs, but it definitely, as always, didn't disappoint here at 5 Flags for the Northwest Tour.
Well, Charles, one more question before we close things out. This was the biggest race of the year here on 5 Flags Speedway in Pensacola, Florida. Now we head to a doubleheader here on the road course side, the only road course event of the season. Canadian Tire and Lime Rock back-to-back in the same night. What are you expecting here as a producer and broadcaster? What are you expecting out of this race coming up here next week?
I haven't been around this league long enough to know how they handle the road courses. There are some in there that run the Northwest Trucking Cup Series. I know how they're going to handle it. The majority of this field, again, anywhere from 45 to 60 drivers that sign up to come race here each night, and some of those have to go home. Could some of these guys that typically don't even make the feature, could they be somebody who is a road course ringer that comes out of, potentially, losing, not making it through their heat race or the C main? Could they be in the A main next week? That's the kind of stuff I'm going to be looking for come next week.
Just going to have to tune in and find out. Make sure you subscribe to LSR TV and hit the notification bell, and you will be alerted when that race goes live, because you are not going to want to miss the make it 2 road course races this season, 2 in one night, Canadian Tire and Lime Rock. But for us here in Pensacola, Florida, it's time to say goodbye. So for Wesley Outland, who is catching his breath after not 1 but 2 full-length snowball derbies here tonight, and Charles Wooten, my executive producer in the booth, and alongside me in the announcer's booth, I'm Greg Rentz. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We hope to see you again here when the Northwest Tour goes turning left and right in road course racing at Canadian Tire and Lime Rock Motorsports Park.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSR TV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSR TV would